Situation Room to make a final determination on whether the U.S. will sign that deal with Iran. Overnight word came that a framework had been agreed to that would reopen the Strait of Hormuz. In Laos, one person has been rescued from that cave where several miners have been trapped for more than a week.
This is an extremely delicate operation. Each person will have to be brought to the surface one by one. 6 additional divers have arrived to help with this rescue mission, and we're told that they needed thinner divers to reach the area where all of this is unfolding. So it does give you a sense of the terrain and how difficult this mission is.
ABC's Marcus Moore. A federal judge has temporarily blocked any payouts from that so-called anti-weaponization fund until a lawsuit brought by 2 January 6th police officers can run its course. Former Attorney General Pam Bondi on Capitol Hill answering questions about the release of the Epstein files. This is ABC News. Plans by the Trump administration to send Americans coming from Ebola hot zones in Africa to Kenya have hit a snag. From the State Department, here's ABC's Shannon Kingston.
A Kenyan court has put a pause on the Trump administration's plan to open a 50-bed field hospital in the country for Americans exposed to the Ebola virus. The African CDC has suggested Kenya's government was pressured into housing the center. Some experts also warning that a foreign facility is a strategic mistake, saying U.S. nationals impacted by the outbreak should be brought home. Shannon Kingston, ABC News, the State Department.
Just 4 months after putting a new rule in effect for plus-size passengers, Southwest Airlines has changed it. Those customers will now not be required to buy an extra seat in advance. Southwest says its agents can offer an additional seat at no extra cost. The airline received numerous criticisms, and plus-size passengers said they felt ostracized by the rule. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
The death toll from Tuesday's chemical implosion at the Nippon Dino Wave paper mill in Longview is now 8. We'll have more on that next, but first, let's get a check on the roads. There's some maintenance on eastbound 18 between Covington and Maple Valley. Left lane is blocked, and there's a decent backup about 3 miles. Plan some extra time, about 10 to 15 minutes if you're traveling from Auburn. On the drive from Linwood to Bellevue, it's about an hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 20 from Everett. That's nearly a 30-minute delay. It is not Friday Light right now. For I-5, it's about an hour and 10 from Everett and 50 minutes from Linwood. This traffic report is brought to you by the Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with your latest news, scores, opinions about your favorite teams.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. Recovery efforts continue today at the site of the Longview chemical tank implosion as the number of victims yet to be found has dropped to only 3. KIRO News Radio's Corin Hake reports from the scene.
Searchers yesterday recovered 6 more bodies from the site of Tuesday's disaster at Nippon Dino Wave paper mill, bringing the official death toll to 8, with 3 more victims yet to be recovered. Longview Fire Battalion Chief Matt Amos says the remaining 3 lie just beyond the area emergency responders have penetrated so far.
So our crews are rehabbing right now. They have to decontaminate every time that they leave that area because of the hazards that are still there, and then they should be rested and ready for me when we go back, and then we will explore further in.
The recovered victims must also undergo decontamination before they are transferred to the county coroner's office. In Longview, Corwin Hake, KIRO News Radio.
If you've been waiting for light rail to reach your neighborhood, you may have to wait a little longer. The Sound Transit Board signed off a revised expansion plan yesterday, 16-2. The agency is trying to close a $34.5 billion gap caused by inflation and higher construction costs. Board members say Ballard, Everett, Tacoma, and parts of East King County are still on the map. They're just not promising when you'll get there. Public comment alone stretched a full hour with more than 100 people lining up to speak. And the city of Seattle cleared out multiple barriers from Aurora Avenue. KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun reports.
Neighbors had put them up, blocking the streets in an effort to keep out gun violence. Neighbors tell KIRO 7 the barriers gave them several nights of peace, but the city argues the barriers block access for first responders, trash collection, and other essential services. We reached out to ask what the barriers will be replaced with. They gave us a statement. It reads in part, quote, as part of our ongoing efforts, the mayor has directed the Seattle Department of Transportation to replace the resident-installed barriers with temporary traffic calming treatments at the 3 locations. And not clear yet exactly what those treatments will be.
Seattle police and crisis responders intervene after a Tacoma college student allegedly posted a shotgun photo of a messaging app with references to a mass shooting. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has details.
Investigators say the man had become radicalized and posed an imminent danger. Officers detained him in Seattle and served him with an extreme risk protection order, blocking his access to guns. SPD Detective Eric Munoz says, at least for now, the man's issues appear to be mental and not criminal.
No direct threat was actually made. This gentleman needs help more than he needs to go to jail.
Munoz says the man admitted burying a shotgun near a park in Bellevue. Police found and seized that weapon. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
For your KIRO News Radio weather, we have some pockets of showers this morning. Highs will be much cooler today in the upper 50s and lower 60s with some gusty wind at times. Right now, it's about 52 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Oh, yes. Happy Fresh Fridays here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Grateful that you're hanging out with us. It's also Flex Fridays as well. No sun out there peaking today. Good morning to you, Ursula.
Good morning. Yeah, knowing that the sun was going to disappear or at least hide behind the clouds today, I did something yesterday that we are going to share on the Gee and Ursula Show page. I did something a little bit different to bring today to Flex Fridays.
Okay. Good.
So we'll talk about it at 9:47. You heard about Sound Transit having that $35 billion hole in their budget. Well, the agency, or at least the board, has made some new promises now, and Sully is going to join us at 9:30 to talk about those. So I'm curious to see who's going to be really happy, who's going to be really skeptical, and who is going to be hacked off. Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line is 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
Let's get to it. Top stories of the day brought to you by Pendergas Law.
The death toll continues to climb following the catastrophic explosion at the Nippon Dynawave paper mill in Longview. As of this morning, 8 people are confirmed dead. Authorities believe 3 more victims may have been killed, making this one of the deadliest industrial disasters in state history. And today, search crews remain on the scene, and our reporter Corwin Hake is also on the scene in Longview, tracking the very latest. Corwin, first of all, how confident are they that they're going to be able to recover the 3 who are still missing?
Ursula, they're pretty confident. Yesterday, we were told that they knew where the 3 remaining victims were, but they were sort of just out of reach of the perimeter they'd set up for themselves. They weren't quite equipped to go that deep into the disaster area. So they recovered the 6 they were able to reach. The 3, we presume, that are still remaining there, they expect to get those, if not today, very soon.
The Chemical Safety Board right now is investigating, and right now a chemical supposedly reached the Columbia. What are some of the environmental impacts right now that you're hearing about?
You know, Gee, so far they've tended to downplay environmental impacts. I suppose that's understandable. They don't want people to panic, and they don't want to draw any extra scrutiny to what's going on down here in the Longview industrial area. But what we do know is that some of that caustic material has leached into a waterway that runs throughout the city. They refer to them as a ditch network, and the efforts now are concerned with cleaning out that water and making it safe to dump back into the Columbia River. That's an effort that involves flushing these ditches with fresh water, and in that way making them safe to get back into the Columbia. It doesn't sound great to put all that water back into the Columbia, but that's a long-standing practice.
And Corwin, investigators are now focusing on what caused the explosion. Are there any theories that are surfacing just yet, or is it too early?
It's early. It's such a great question. And every day at the daily press briefing, The officials here get asked about that, and every day they say it's just too early to tell. And that's typical. You know, investigations take a long time. Think about all the transportation disasters where there's an investigation and the details are not released until months later. That could be the case here. But we do know that these tanks that hold the chemicals, they're basically pressure cookers, and when failure points occur, they can be disastrous. What we don't know is who's really responsible for inspecting these tanks, how often, when did it happen the last time, and who's going to be responsible for going forward checking out these tanks. You recall that Boeing, under federal agreement, was doing their own safety inspections and reporting back to the government. I don't know if that's the case here. I wouldn't be surprised, but no question there's going to be some changes coming.
And we've talked a lot about the missing or the people who are now confirmed dead. But there were also injuries, right? And some survivors suffered catastrophic chemical burns from exposure. Can you talk about that at all?
Well, we do know that one of the victims who was transported with those chemical burns did not survive those injuries. And he was declared dead on Wednesday. Thursday, there was no news of injured victims. We do know that a firefighter was injured and then released from the hospital, but that leaves, I believe, 7 people who were hospitalized that may have been discharged. We don't know about them, but we do know that the injuries suffered from this chemical can be severe.
Corwin, thank you for your reporting. Appreciate you.
Anytime. Thanks, guys.
And Gee, I was just going to say that doctors say, so this white liquor, it's a highly caustic paper-making chemical. And doctors are saying that the injuries can continue damaging tissue very long after exposure and could require years and years of treatment and rehabilitation. I mean, this is just catastrophic. It's just, my heart goes out to all the families affected, and hopefully they are getting support. Everett police arrested 9 men during an undercover prostitution sting this week, targeting what investigators describe as a known prostitution corridor in the city. And gee, this operation focused specifically on the Johns, the folks attempting to buy sex. Police say the goal was to reduce demand and disrupt human trafficking by targeting customers instead of the sex workers themselves. So all 9 of these suspects were booked into the Snohomish County Jail on suspicion of patronizing a prostitute, which is a misdemeanor. And jail records show each was initially held on just $500 bail. But I want to point out, I'll compare that to what is happening on Aurora Avenue in Seattle. For years, as you know, neighbors and business owners have complained about open-air prostitution, suspected trafficking, violence, drug activity all along parts of Aurora. And then we've been reporting these numerous shootouts because of what police are calling pimp wars.
Yeah, well, one of the things that I went down a rabbit hole this morning. Did you guys know that it wasn't until down in the state of Florida, 1974, 52 years ago, was the first time that they had the bright idea of arresting the Johns. So for so many years, they always arrested the sex worker. Mm-hmm. You know, this profession's been around for thousands of years, and it wasn't until 52 years ago that they're like, you know what? How about we start to arrest the Johns? That's number one. And then number two, you brought up Aurora and what's going on. And today we're going to have former King County Sheriff John Urquhart here on the show to talk about that. And today I wanted to talk about it in a different way, is talking about when you criminalize these efforts of prostitution. No, I'm not saying legalizing. I'm not doing that. I'm saying when you criminalize it, you get 95 shootings in a matter of 2 years on the Aurora area. In Nevada, in the Bunny Ranch, that's been around since 1955, nearly 70 years, they've had 0 shootings. And except for one shooting in 2023, no injuries occurred. Nobody got shot, but there was a shooting there. So just want to bring that point up about that whole thing.
I want to bring up the point, just looking at what happened in Everett, I want to say that Seattle needs to take a lesson from Everett. in Seattle, as long as I can remember, we've spent years debating this problem. During and after the pandemic, I distinctly remember driving on Aurora during that time and being shocked by the number of women sauntering up and down the sidewalks near Lowe's, the hardware store there. These were very young women. I would say in some cases they looked like teenagers. And there was basically very little enforcement of many low-level offenses. Then the city council, do you remember, created the SOAP zone specifically to address prostitution activity and target the buyers and the pimps. But now we have a city attorney who has made it clear she doesn't believe those tools are the answer. Meanwhile, Aurora has become the scene of an all-out turf war. And there are these shootings, assaults, trafficking, open-air prostitution playing out in front of homes and businesses. We talked about baby in a crib almost being hit by one of those gunshots. And yesterday we found out the mayor is talking about more studies. The police department is still stretched thin, and everyone seems to have a reason why nothing can be done. And what I like about what's happening at Everett is they're not claiming they're going to solve prostitution overnight. They're not pretending that even these arrests will end trafficking, but they're saying we're going to make life harder for those who are creating the demand. And I think that is an example of leadership. So if you're headed to the Gorge this weekend for Brandi Carlile's 3 nights of concerts, organizers say they've heard the outrage loud and clear after last weekend's camping nightmare. So fans, if you didn't hear about this, they attended the sold-out Grizztronics Festival, and they reported waiting as long as 11 hours just to get through security and into the campgrounds. Gorge employee spoke with KIRO 7 TV and said that Live Nation hired a new security firm to screen concert goers who stay at the campgrounds. And that security team has a dog sniff each car for weapons before they're allowed to enter.
Those people were saying they needed to have a mandatory 30 seconds for their dog after every single car. Let the dog rest or reset, whatever, before each car.
And, gee, security has actually been a lot tighter at the Gorge since the deadly shooting at the Beyond Wonderland concert. Do you remember that in 2023? Mm-hmm. And those enhanced screenings have added time to when you get in and get checked in. But many fans say what happened last weekend was way beyond that. So the Gorge is going to be making changes before thousands of Brandi Carlile fans arrive. For example, campgrounds and venue gates will start opening earlier. More security screening lines are going to be added, and the venue promises to refund people who had to pay those camping fees and were affected by last weekend's
delays. Do you
delays.
guys think Live Nation is doing something about this because of good conscience? So, for example, if there was no backlash and there was no social media and anybody talking about it with pictures so that you could see it, do you guys actually think that they would do something about it? No. It reminds me of Ray Rice. Ray Rice, if you guys remember Ray Rice, you can look at he's a football player, former football player for the Baltimore Ravens, and he had a domestic violence where he was arrested for it. And then so what happened was, Ursula, he had to sit out a couple games, and they actually brought him back during the preseason. And when they brought him back, Ray Rice, everybody standing ovation, he's back, ready to play football. But then like that next week, TMZ showed everybody the photos and the video of what he actually did. And then it was like, ooh, everybody clutched pearls. Like, I can't believe that actually happened. You see, a lot of times, a lot of these billion-dollar organizations, the only time they want to do something is when there's backlash. And if there's only a little bit of backlash, they ain't going to fix the problem. They're not going to fix the problem at all. So a lot of times a lot of people love to just sit behind the scenes, and Live Nation's a bit like, we ain't got to do nothing for them. We just got to make this money. Oh, my goodness, they didn't put the pictures up. Okay, make some changes. Make some changes. Make some changes.
But what would you rather have, I guess? If you're going to a concert, do you want the search dogs going through each car? Because remember, in August of 2022, there was a potential mass shooting that was prevented at the Gorge. When concert goers called 911, they saw a guy in the parking lot inhaling something from a balloon and then loading 2 pistols that he had pulled from the trunk of his car. And the Grant County Sheriff's Department was praising the witnesses who made that call. But in June of 2023, 2 people were killed and 3 more were wounded. when someone opened fire at the Gorge campground?
The answer is yes. Every time I go to a stadium before a game and I park in the stadium, they have the dogs come and sniff. That's number one. And then number two, once those vehicles are parked, right? Once vehicles are parked and they come through, and a lot of times when you go through the stadium, when you go through, they put an X on your car and everything. But even after you've gotten in, throughout the game, during the game, there's still dogs. So this is what it sounds like to me. I don't know if you guys have been to any restaurants or stores. Like, man, why is it taking so long? You're like, oh, why is there only one person working?
Yeah, they just need to staff it.
People.
Yeah, staff it.
This ain't hard, Lois.
Yeah. So you're basically saying,
amen.
Yeah. Don't get rid of
They have one
the
dog.
additional security. Hello.
but for some reason, you fixed it. So you mean
they're gonna? Yeah, I know, right? Well, because they're gonna open more security lines now.
You fixed it. It's like my dad used to do this exercise, Ursula. I'm on a tangent right now, where he'd tell me, "Champ, squeeze, make a fist." And so I'd make a fist. He'd say, "Okay, now squeeze harder." Let's go. He'd say, "All right, if you squeeze as hard as you could," I said, "Yeah, squeeze as hard as I could." "All right, last time, squeeze even harder." The point is,
you can always find a way to do more.
Always.
Yes. If there's a will, there's a way.
Yep.
Okay, final question for you this segment. Is Washington losing its political middle? A growing number of voters seem to think so, and one of them is Chris Novoselic, the former Nirvana bassist, who is now helping lead a new centrist political party called the Cascade Party. In case you haven't heard about it, the idea is to create this home for people who feel like they are politically homeless. For example, voters who think Republicans have gone too far one way or Democrats too far the other, and they just want leaders focused on things like public safety, housing, affordability, and good governance. Now, it's an interesting idea, but as you know, Gee, history has not been kind to third parties. But if nearly half of Americans now identify as independents, the question is this: are you politically homeless, or do you still feel like one of the major parties actually represents you?
I feel like one of the major parties represents me the same way I have family members where they still family though, but there's just some things you just gotta deal with. Nothing is perfect. That's number one. But I want to talk about this politically homeless. Let me just say this. And there was one senator that's quoted in there. As a matter of fact, Senator Chris Gildon was on our show. The one senator, he says that the legislature's gone so far left, you need a telescope to find the center. And it's interesting that he says that because this is Senator Gildon, the person who right now he wants to put a pause on the CCA. By the way,
I agree with him.
I agree with him. But then follow-up question. By the way, Senator Gildon, tell me what else you've done to put money in the pockets of the people. Crickets. Nothing. So I want to talk a little bit about the political middle, if you will. I want to give you guys an example of the city of Seattle. I keep bringing this up every single day, and I'm going to bring it up again. 80% of land in residential properties here in land is single family. 20% is the rest. So that means for a lot of times you got people that's like, hey, put a mural up. I want a mural. Hey, I love the diversity. I love the neighbors. Okay, hey, we're going to make it to where they can live next to. No. We can't have that. There's literally been a fight in Seattle, one of the most progressive cities in the United States. But when it comes to what they really do, see, they're real good about putting bumper stickers and being like, oh, I love diversity and Black Lives Matters and I love the LGBTQ. And they say those things and I'm socially this. But when you rack them and stack them and you go to see the proof of what you actually want, it's a whole different story. So my idea of the folks in the political middle is just a comfortable way of picking and choosing. I want to have a little piece of cheesecake right here. I want a little piece of this right here.
I think there's a lot of people who fit into that.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I look at myself. I think I am liberal on social issues, but I want government to live within its means. I support gay marriage and abortion rights, but I also want balanced budgets. I do want a strong safety net, but I don't want endless taxes and spending. That, I guess, would be the political middle. I do identify more with one party than the other, but I understand where Chris Novoselic and others feel like sometimes you feel politically homeless.
Well, there's also a middle cost. From 1990 to 2020, the black population, single-family neighborhoods have been forced out of the Seattle area. So there's also cost of the political middle. Hey, coming up next here on the Gee and Ursula Show, we got Flex Fridays happening at 9:47. But, for 6 hours, Sound Transit, they made some decisions yesterday. Chris Sullivan is going to come in to explain all that's being promised and what does or does not exist. Next, Gee and Ursula.
KIRO News Radio, winner of 7 regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Breaking news coverage, best newscast, excellence in writing, investigative reporting, sports reporting, hard news. Capped with a prestigious prize for overall excellence. And we thank you, our audience across the Pacific Northwest. You are the reason we strive to be the Northwest's trusted news source. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 15th, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi, just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add 1 line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
Has your junk drawer taken over the whole house? Closets jammed? Garage packed? Pantry a mess? Don't just live with it. John Curley here for Closets by Design. Organize your closets, garages, laundry rooms, and home offices with Closets by Design. Everything is custom built for how you actually live. For a limited time, get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
You could sleep through the night without thinking twice. You could take a seat in the middle of the theater. You could drive without worry of where the next restroom is. You used to say yes, and somewhere along the way, you stopped. Not because of one big moment, because of 100 small ones. A little more urgency, one more trip to the bathroom at 2 a.m., one more mental note about where the restroom is. It happened slowly enough that it just became you. But it's not you. It's enlarged prostate, and there's a treatment called aquablation therapy, the only ultrasound-guided robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Find an aquablation therapist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466. 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks, and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealer with the largest selection of Subarus in Washington. With over 800 vehicles in stock, they have exactly what you're looking for with savings you'll love. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
I just can't dig it.
Dig what?
My water line.
Needs replacing?
And I don't want digging in my yard.
And maybe your driveway.
Can't dig it.
Don't dig it.
But how do you?
Apollo Plumbing replaces water lines without digging up your yard.
You're Dan.
From the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Apollo Plumbing.
Our trenchless technology replaces water and sewer lines.
Without digging up my yard?
2 little holes is all it takes.
Sounds better.
Faster, too.
And my yard?
Like we were never there.
Sounds spendy.
Not so much.
Oh?
In the end, about the same as that messy digging you don't want.
How do you figure?
Think about that landscaping you love.
Yeah?
Trenchless means you won't be paying to replace it.
Or my driveway.
We run everything underground.
Trenchless?
Do them all the time.
How about...
Easy payments?
Yeah.
With approved credit. Sure thing.
When can you get started?
We are the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Love that.
Apollo Plumbing, trenchless waterline replacement.
Sewer lines, too.
Can you dig that?
That I can.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Power your drive with Mobil 1 motor oil. Buy 5 quarts, get $15 back, and score a fast and furious prize after rebate at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Now that Wendy's has these new biggie deals, everyone in the family can get what they're craving, from nugs to JBCs. The parental units can get an $8 biggie bundle, the eldest who think they're so grown can get a $6 biggie bag, and the little one who can do no wrong can get a $4 biggie bites. You know, assuming they have a credit card. No, I'm kidding. We take cash too. $4, $6, and $8 biggie deals for the whole family. Only at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Unlock smart business buying with fast, free delivery on millions of items and practical AI innovations that automate repetitive tasks so you can make smarter decisions faster. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. Recovery efforts at the Nippon Dino Wave paper mill in Longview are working through what officials describe as a highly complex industrial hazard. 6 of 9 missing victims have been recovered, but reaching the last 3 is slow, dangerous work. Longview Fire Battalion Chief Matt Amos.
We are continuously locking out, tagging out, and isolating hazardous conditions for us as we make entries in and recover victims.
Crews must decontaminate nearly every entry, and an exclusion zone remains around the damaged tank. With the 6 victims recovered yesterday, the official death toll now stands at 8. Kent-based Blue Origin is trying to figure out what went wrong on a Florida launch pad. During a test flight of its New Glenn rocket, it suddenly exploded into a massive fireball last night. No one was hurt. In a statement, Blue Origin said the rocket experienced an anomaly during the hot fire test. Blue Origin founder Jeff Bezos posted, "All personnel are accounted for and safe. It's too early to know the root cause, but we're already working to find it." A successful rescue inside the cave in Laos where several miners have been trapped for more than a week. One miner has been rescued and brought out of the cave, but the operations to get the rest of them out has been harrowing. ABC's Marcus Moore says the passageways in the cave are extremely narrow.
This is an extremely delicate operation. Each person will have to be brought to the surface one by one. 6 additional divers have arrived to help with this rescue mission, and we're told that they needed thinner divers to reach the area where all of this is unfolding. So it does give you a sense of the terrain and how difficult this mission is.
A new special edition Orca card is hitting the Puget Sound. To mark Seattle's role as a 2026 World Cup host city, transit agencies have released a limited SCA 26 Orca card designed by local artist Allison Bremner. The card pops with a bright blue raven, a green whale tail motif, and colorful soccer balls. Bremner says the design captures the joy and motion of soccer in the Pacific Northwest. And now to your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic on SR 529 northbound and southbound at the Snohomish River Bridge. All lanes are closed right now due to boat traffic. There's still some ongoing maintenance on eastbound 18 between Covington and Maple Valley. The left lane is blocked and there's a decent backup about 2.5 miles now. Plan for an extra 10 to 15 if you're heading in from Auburn. The drive Linwood to Bellevue about 1 hour and 10. That's 1 hour and 20 from Everett and nearly a 30-minute delay overall. As for I-5, it's about 1 hour and 10 from Everett and 50 minutes from Linwood. Now, this traffic report is brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio App. Text app to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO Newsradio App, listen to your favorite shows, and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. For your forecast today, it's much cooler than yesterday. We're starting off pretty cloudy and a few showers here and there. Highs today will be in the low 60s. Right now, it's about 52 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show, and we heard that there was a big, fat, long meeting involving Sound Transit and where light rail is going to go and not going to go, and There are some winners and some losers, and we still have a big fat budget deficit. Chris Sullivan is here to explain what happened during yesterday's meeting.
Well, they had a lot of conversation. And they basically codified something that they've been working on for about a year now, which is the fact that they have a $34 billion budget hole for ST3, which voters voted on in 2016, a $54 billion package, of which now they're at $34 billion underfunded. They don't know where they're going to get that money. Basically saying, okay, what are we going to do going forward with Sound Transit over the next 25 years? How are we going to find that money? How are we going to save some money? What can we do? What can't we do? So all this did really yesterday was codify from the board's perspective going forward today what we think we can get done under current financing, what we think we can't get done under current financing, and to begin the discussions of how much we're going to go for to the voters next time to try to make up the gap. It also codified that as a board, they agreed that they want to try to build everything that they promised voters in 2016, but admitting the realities of where we are as an agency and how far they're in the hole.
So what areas should be happy and what areas might be sad?
Well, Tacoma and Everett should be happy because those two counties are going to start getting some significant expenditures from Sound Transit. We're going to get light rail from Federal Way down to Tacoma. We're going to get light rail from Linwood now up into the Everett area. West Seattle should be happy. West Seattle is going to get the light rail promise. Folks in Ballard are not going to be happy.
Okay.
They're not going to be happy at all because the only thing that Sound Transit says it can fund on the Ballard line is to go from Seattle to Seattle. From basically downtown to Seattle Center, but not from Seattle Center to Ballard.
Follow-up question on the West Seattle. Can you help me better understand? Because it also said, because I saw it earlier, it said, hey, but not the Avalon deal.
Yeah, well, because part of the deal, because this, I believe, if looking back, this is like the fourth time they've done realignment, as they call it. What that means is there are places along the corridor that they originally thought they might build a station, like in the Avalon neighborhood or at Graham Street, in Seattle. And then they go, okay, we can build it, but maybe we don't give you that station. And so that's how they kind of trim back some of the money, is they might cut a station like they have done with Avalon potentially going to West Seattle. In some cases on the Linwood line from Northgate up through Linwood, they still built some stations but stripped them way back, like maybe didn't include parking or parking garages or didn't make them as expansive. So they're looking for it. So in other words, it's kind of like you have your house. You've got your project that you want to build, but then all of a sudden you realize because of, for whatever financial reasons, maybe I've got to use...
You have to make adjustments.
I have to use laminate instead of hardwood. I've got to use Formica instead of marble countertops, right? But I still got to build it.
Spot on.
Right? So you kind of understand where I'm getting. Yep. You have to figure out where you can trim, but knowing that you can get the project done. Now, to people in Ballard, they will probably say getting to Ballard's not fat, right? Because that's what they were promised. And that neighborhood has voted routinely for that. But the reality is that's $22 billion to go 7.7 miles.
And they said there were 70,000 riders potentially, right?
No, the Seattle Times actually said that they expect up to 135,000 boardings out of out of Ballard. I don't believe that for a minute. Not the Seattle Times. Those are Sound Transit
numbers.
Because Sound Transit has never, ever even remotely come close to any kind of ridership numbers that they have ever promised. It's always been way low, but they continue to say that it's going to be. But they expect that one to have, and this is probably true, to get more boardings in Ballard than they would in West Seattle.
Yeah.
But they're going forward with West Seattle because it's a little further down the line in terms of design. The EIS is done. The environmental impact is done there. But West Seattle has much better bus service, really good bus service.
Okay, but I got to ask you something because I heard some rumblings of an ST4.
Oh, it's not rumblings anymore. We've been talking about this behind the scenes for about a year and a half to 2 years, maybe even more, kind of behind the scenes.
Which means more money.
Which means they're
asking taxpayers for more money.
ST4 would be going back to the voters and asking for more money. money. And what that looks like, we don't know. We've been talking about it offline because it hasn't really been public. But as of yesterday, it's now in the press release from Sound Transit that now ST4 is starting to pop up as a line item going forward.
Who did I see besides the ST4? Did I see something? I hope I'm not rumbling this together. Did I see something where somebody's going to be asking for a tax on rental cars?
That was one of the things they approved yesterday.
Yeah, talk about that.
It's like a 1.3%. I think if I look forward at what the proposition was going into yesterday's meeting, to add, basically on rental cars, kind of a user tax. That's another way, and that's one thing they can do. And Sound Transit does have broad taxing authority where they can do things that don't need to go to the voters.
That's why I'm asking you about it. I'm wait a minute.
Yeah, when the legislature created the regional taxing authority and allowed them this ability, they allowed them a lot of backdoors and have given them backdoors in subsequent legislative sessions to get more money without going to voters. Now, here's the thing about an ST4. Again, we don't know what it might look like. They might not even know what it looks like. But the way it's written, that would have to go to the legislature first. Sound Transit would have to go to the legislature and say, listen, we need to raise money. We need to go to the voters. This is what we're going to ask them, and this is what it's going to pay for. They would need the authority from the legislature before they would even then be able to create a ballot to go forward to the voters. So we're down the line on this. But again, let's not forget, they got the voting authority from the legislature for 2016, and they are $34 billion in the hole, and they haven't even started any of that project, really, in anything reasonable way. So, I mean, the track record for Sound Transit is not good. They've never delivered a project on time or on budget, as near as I can tell. And so, and again, this goes back to the 96, 97. They've been collecting taxes for Pierce, King, and Snohomish counties, and this is where we are. It's just early on it was not well run. It's still not very well run today, but the last 5 to 8 years they've gotten better. I think they realize what they need to do to get their house in order, but they're still not very good stewards of taxpayer dollars. But again, winners and losers, that's where we are. But again, ST4, we don't know what that might look like. But at least now they're officially talking about it.
Great. So you know what's
going forward. Down the pike, they're going to be asking for more money to either build what they promised or because let's not forget the things that they want to do, not even in ST3, but they want to build out to Issaquah. They want to go out to Kirkland. They want to go do all these kind of spots. And at some point, maybe it's up to them. I'm not going to tell voters how to vote, but is it time to keep throwing money after on this with an agency that it doesn't seem to do very good with our money?
Well, let's do an informal poll. 888-973-5476.
If only people would
888-973 KIRO.
In all fairness, how have we done by throwing money at agencies? Yeah, you don't have to answer that.
Well, let's just say it doesn't. For some reason, giving government money, they generally seem to have a lot more fun spending other people's money than they do their own.
Yeah.
And there's generally not a lot of accountability, especially for Sound Transit, because their board's not elected. So there's no real, and so there's a lot of components, but they've got a bad track record taking care of our money.
Thanks, Sully. Appreciate you. Hey, coming up next, it's Flex Fridays here on the Gee and Ursula Show. And also, how in the world did Alaska Airlines fit into the Flex Friday segment? I'll tell you how. It's what they have alleged to have done with their passengers. We'll talk about that next. Gee and Ursula.
KIRO News Radio, winner of 7 regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Breaking news coverage, best newscast, excellence in writing, investigative reporting, sports reporting, hard news. Capped with a prestigious prize for overall excellence. And we thank you, our audience across the Pacific Northwest. You are the reason we strive to be the Northwest's trusted news source. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Healthcare costs are rising, and a major driver is hospital prices. They've increased more than 250% over the past 25 years. Families and local businesses are feeling it. At Primera Blue Cross, we're working to change that by negotiating with hospitals to secure fair, responsible prices so you can get the care you need at a cost you can afford. That's coverage that counts. Learn more at coveragethatcounts.premera.com.
Guys, tired all the time? Gaining weight? Low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. This June, for Men's Health Month, Revive Men's Health in Seattle is offering a free comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. No guessing, just answers. Over 100,000 men have trusted Revive to get real results. More energy, better sleep, improved mood, and confidence that shows. If something feels off, don't wait. Take control and protect your long-term health by knowing your numbers. This offer ends June 30th. Schedule your free comprehensive wellness panel today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Feel better, live stronger. Start now.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to cars4kids.org now, or call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to cars4kids.org. That's cars with a K.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Nick, you know what's a great thing about going to Longevity Medical Clinic as a couple?
Oh, I absolutely do. When they tell you to do something, you actually do it.
Right. And the same thing with you. When they tell you to do it, because for some reason, when I tell you to do it, you're like, whoa.
I just walk away and roll my eyes.
Exactly. But the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic, the doctors there know, because we do the blood draw and they look and they can see, they know, they hold us accountable.
Yeah, when I'm under pressure and I know I'm coming in, I know I have to work the program.
Right. Plus, we also want to hold each other accountable for how we take care of ourselves because, you know, we want to have a long, healthy, happy life.
I know. I want every day to torture you as long as I possibly can.
Well, I look forward to it. Here's the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic. They're working with you. They're holding you accountable because they want you to have a long, healthy, happy life. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
It is the Gee Ursula Show. Happy Fresh Fridays to all of you. What will it take to shut down the pimps and prostitutes on Aurora? Well, former King County Sheriff John Urquhart is going to join the show. We'll ask him what will it take, as he has a whole bunch of knowledge when it comes to law enforcement and all that good stuff. But right now, we do need to talk. And before we get into the topic about Alaska Airlines, we must first get going. You know what time it is?
I woke up this morning and I said to myself, Self.
Loving you is the most important thing in the world.
Now, I give Allie in Tacoma, she loves Would You Rather. But this segment, I got to give love to Steven in Issaquah. He loves Flex Fridays. He tuned in and said, hey, did I miss it? No, Steven. You didn't miss it. Let's go. Text in. What you got, Ursula?
Well, I did something a little different this week, and I took advantage of the great weather we had. So I did go to the gym.
Yep.
And I'm still not feeling the love when it comes to weightlifting, but I'm doing it because I know it's good.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. But I just don't get that excitement like you do.
Right.
Or whatever the feeling is that you get.
Sure.
But yesterday, I was on my way to the gym.
Right.
Because remember, I told you, now I'm putting my gym bag in the car with all my stuff so I don't have an excuse. Like, I got to go home. Then I want to get home. I'm going to be tired. So I just keep it in the car. Mm-hmm. But then I was like, you know what? To heck with the gym. I came back to the house and I got my swimsuit and I went and I did laps because it was warm enough to swim in the pool.
Right.
Neighborhood pool.
No doubt.
And it felt really good. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to, I put myself in the slow lane. Y'all know that I used to be on swim team many moons ago, 40 years ago. And I'm just going to start working my way from the slow lane to the middle lane. I don't know if I'll get to the fast lane. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm that dedicated, but I'm just going to kind of try to build those up over the summer.
That's good.
And swimming is a great form of exercise.
Here we are. We're getting ready. Y'all know it's June next week, y'all. Y'all know it's officially about to be June.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so we're almost, we're just finishing up 5 months. You have increased your workouts.
For sure.
Dave just texted in and said he has gone back to the gym since the beginning of April. He's lost 15 pounds so far. Shout out to you, Dave. And shout out to any of you guys doing it.
Kevin in Seattle says, I'm now walking down to and around Green Lake every day. Happy Flex Friday.
Yeah. So you said something to me just now. You said, whatever it is that you get. I want to first say this. If it were up to me, I could do other things than going to the gym, right? I can think of a whole lot of things. But I will say, and this is the challenge that I get for all of you, whatever reasons you're going to the gym, if you keep going to the gym, you will end up finding more reasons as to why working out, or if you work out outside, why it's so important. So for me, I started working out really tough because I'm like, you know what? I really do need to lose weight. That was my number one motivation because we're on camera every day and I'm tired of my cheeks absolutely filling up the screen.
Oh my gosh.
So that was my motivation. But something has happened for me. And by the way, it's all subjective, whatever reasons that you go. But for me, the 5 a.m. workouts for me has me so much more sharp in my day-to-day life. Like, there's no better preparation for this show than 5 a.m. workouts. Mm. By the time I pop this microphone on, I've been up since 3:30, 3:15, 3:30 this morning.
I know.
So by the time I come on, I'm not lollygagging, right? I know as much as I make fun of myself and never preparing for the show, I promise you, working out at 5 a.m., there's no better preparation for me for the show. That's number one. Number two, the last thing I'll say is this. The biggest thing that I've really learned in this, Ursula, no matter how hard I work out, speaking for myself, it don't matter if you're not doing the food thing the right way.
Yep.
Especially now, when you're in your 20s, you can have a bad diet and you can work out and look great. You guys remember that. But when you get 45, 40 plus, 50s, and you're working out and you're eating bad, it ain't gonna work.
Can I ask you a serious question? Because I'm an admitted advocate of somewhat irresponsible eating. Can one still achieve the mental benefits, the sharpness you're talking about, as well as the increased mental health benefits from working out if you're not even worried about or engaged in losing weight? Because you're talking about responsible eating.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so if weight loss is not my goal, but I still want to have better mental health, I want to feel sharper.
Definitely.
I hate to sound like a broken record, and for all you therapists that are out there, shout out to you. How many of your clients that maybe you suggested that they start working out that did help a little bit? I'm not saying it's going to decrease at all, but how much did it help? Man, I would just say that. Tyson from the 808 said, Gee, which cheeks? Tyson.
I left that alone.
Come on, dog. Come on,
For
dog.
me, it's the chins. I gotta reduce by one.
Nick, just give me 30 seconds because I teased it.
Yeah.
The FAA proposed a $165,000 fine against Alaska Airlines, y'all, for allegedly letting intoxicated passengers onto the flights. From 2024, February to February 2025, they got caught. They said 11 people, Ursula, have gotten on the plane allegedly allowed to get on there after they've been sauced. So, and by the way, there's been other fines too. American Airlines got hit with $255,000. Southwest Airlines got hit with $304,000. It's a shakedown.
And I'm glad for it because no one wants a super drunk passenger in the seat next to you.
Especially
the flight attendants.
No, exactly. All right, I got that in. You want to get that? Okay.
We can bring it back.
Uncle John, former King County Sheriff John Urquhart. Yes, he's coming on the show, and he's going to tell us what to do. I don't know why I like saying this. He's going to tell us what to do to shut down pimps and prostitutes on Aurora. Next, Gee and Ursula.
Have something to say? We'd love to hear it. Text KIRO News Radio at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
There's 6 markets you can place your money in. Research suggests it's better to have exposure to all 6 markets. Don't miss a potential opportunity because you didn't strategically diversify your assets. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Request your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing in your portfolio. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Got any markdowns on oil?
We've got many markdowns on oil.
How about on that new STP Any Mileage?
You'll save $5 when you buy 5 quarts of STP Any Mileage with an oil filter and get up to 5,000 miles of protection.
Heck of a markdown for quite a lot of miles.
At AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
A shot to center field. Julio is there, and Julio makes the catch!
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house, even when there's not an actual seat, because you're in the T-Mobile pen.
They're going crazy here at T-Mobile Park.
The pen isn't just the perfect space to hang with your whole crew. It's where you can see Julio defend the no-fly zone 1 minute and watch Senor Smoke get ready for his big entrance the next.
Andres Munoz has simply been incredible.
Sure, the pen is standing room only, but with a team this exciting, who wants to be sitting down? Mariners baseball. Try this up.
90s weekend is on deck at T-Mobile Park. The fun gets started tonight at 7:10 with an epic 90s themed fireworks night presented by T-Mobile. Then it's back-to-back giveaways. Julio Rodriguez sleeveless jersey Saturday and Ken Griffey Jr. pin Sunday. Both presented by KeyBank. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealer with the largest selection of Subarus in Washington. With over 800 vehicles in stock, they have exactly what you're looking for with savings you'll love. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
ABC News, I'm Mike Dubusky. Iran now says that President Trump is misrepresenting the terms of a potential peace deal, according to the country's state-run news agency, specifically around issues involving the Strait of Hormuz and Iran's nuclear materials. Earlier today, President Trump said he was meeting with aides to decide whether to extend the ceasefire with Iran, a ceasefire that's already shown signs of breaking.
News of this potential short-term deal came just hours after the U.S. and Iran traded strikes, but still, the White House insists the ceasefire is holding. The vice president telling reporters, quote, ceasefires are always a little messy.
ABC's Mary Bruce. Pam Bondi on Capitol Hill today, the attorney general testifying before the House Oversight Committee about her department's release of the Epstein files. And 5 people are dead in Virginia after a bus careened into a work zone early this morning. More than 30 people were taken to the hospital in this incident. Police say the crash is under investigation. This is ABC News. A search for survivors of a suspected gas leak explosion at a Dallas apartment complex. 3 people confirmed dead, including a child in that blast yesterday. Meanwhile, the search for 3 bodies continues in Longview, Washington, where a chemical tank imploded this week, the blast killing 11 people there, injuring 8. In Laos, one of the 7 people trapped in a flooded cave has now been rescued. ABC's Britt Clennett has what happens next.
Earlier, rescuers, they did say that a new plan may involve teaching them how to scuba dive so that they can actually make their own way out through very tight tunnels and murky waters. The divers are bringing supplies to the group of men, blankets, more water and electrolytes, and bringing back with them messages to their families. The miners telling their parents, wives and children to be strong and not to worry about them.
2 men there are still missing. And a successful launch for SpaceX last night. The Falcon 9 rocket now on its way to delivering 29 Starlink satellites to low Earth orbit. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
We'll have more on those recovery efforts in Longview, but first, let's get a check on the roads for KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. On I-5 northbound at SR20, there is a collision blocking the right lane there. Prepare for a 10-minute delay. There's some maintenance still going on eastbound 18 between Covington and Maple Valley. It's still a 1-hour drive from Linwood to Bellevue and an hour and 20 from Everett. That's nearly a 30-minute delay. And if you're taking I-5, it's about an hour and 10 from Everett and 50 minutes from Linwood to Seattle. This traffic report is brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio app. Text app to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO Newsradio app, listen to your favorite shows, and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. Recovery efforts continue today at the site of the Longview chemical tank implosion as the number of victims has yet to be found and dropped to only 3. KIRO News Radio's Corin Haig reports from the scene.
Searchers yesterday recovered 6 more bodies from the site of Tuesday's disaster at Nippon Dynawave Paper Mill, bringing the official death toll to 8, with 3 more victims yet to be recovered. Longview Fire Battalion Chief Matt Amos says the remaining 3 lie just beyond the area emergency responders have penetrated so far.
So our crews are rehabbing right now. They have to decontaminate every time that they leave that area because of the hazards that are still there, and then they should be rested and ready for me when we go back, and then we will explore further in.
The recovered victims must also undergo decontamination before they are transferred to the county coroner's office. In Longview, Corwin Hake, KIRO News Radio.
Drivers, brace yourselves. 3 major construction projects are about to make getting around the sound a real challenge this weekend. KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin reports.
I'm talking I-5, 405, 520, and
and others. The work starts this evening and goes through Monday morning. Access to eastbound 520 across Lake Washington will be closed to everyone unless you have 3 or more people in your car for those HOV lanes or you're riding public transit. 405 southbound will be closed through Kirkland as well. Now, as for the I-90 and SR-18 interchange work, the eastbound SR-18 Snoqualmie Parkway on-ramp to I-90 and the westbound off-ramp to 18 will be closed for paving this weekend.
In Kent, a suspected mail thief is behind bars after a detective caught him red-handed stealing from neighbors' mailboxes. The Pierce County Sheriff's Office says it happened around 8 a.m. last Saturday when the detective spotted a 24-year-old man opening mailbox after mailbox along the street.
I literally found it just out.
Come on, dude. I've been doing this job for 25 years, man.
I'm not gonna say nothing other than truth.
In all, 17 boxes were open and the mail was stolen from 10 homes, including a package containing medication. He's now booked into the Pierce County Jail on 10 counts of mail theft. And today, the man accused of stabbing a woman at Point Defiance Park back in February of 2024 will be sentenced. KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon has details.
Nicholas Matthew was arrested weeks later at the San Francisco International Airport. Tacoma police say he was trying to leave the country. His victim testified during the trial in August, saying she caught him smiling while he stabbed her in the head, face, neck, and back. Matthew represented himself during the trial.
For your KIRO News Radio weather, we have some pockets of showers this morning. Highs will be much cooler today in the upper 50s and lower 60s with some gusty winds at times. Right now, it's about 52 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
It's Fresh Fridays here on the Gee and Ursula Show, and I'm so happy because we got one of my favorite people here. Good morning to you, Ursula.
Good morning. I know you're not talking about me. You're talking about our guest. Okay, hey, coming up at 10:30, you know, lying when you do those job interviews? And if you're a guy, are you more likely to lie when you're trying to get that job? That is something that we're going to discuss coming up at 10:30. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line is 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
What's new at 10?
For many years, Aurora Avenue, in particular in Seattle, has been plagued by prostitution, trafficking, gun violence, and just recently, all-out what they're calling pimp wars. And residents are really upset, businesses are fed up, and many are asking the very same question. Why does this problem seem so difficult, especially for Seattle, to get under control? So, because he is someone that we go to for answers, G, joining us right now is former King County Sheriff John Urquhart. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
Well, let's just start with what you've been seeing going on. You hear the reporting, you see the stories. Does any of this come as a surprise to you?
No, it doesn't come as a surprise, but let me say two things before we get going here. First, I was glad to be able to get over here without getting a speeding ticket like I did the last time I was here.
Oh, we didn't know that.
Well, $263 later.
Oh, no. Ouch.
And what you pay me doesn't really
pay
you
do it. We give you smiles.
Now, Sheriff.
Wait a minute.
I grew up with law enforcement.
I know.
And when I was growing up, right, this is what I used to see all the time. My mom would flash her badge. Dad flash his badge. You can't flash a badge anymore?
Well, I wouldn't, number one.
Okay.
That's my story. And number two, it was a speed camera. So that doesn't really...
Was it on 90?
No, it's strange. Strangely enough, coming up across Boren, there's a school zone there. And it's really easy to go more than 20 miles an hour.
Yes, it is.
And I didn't know there was a school zone. I didn't see the signs.
Oh,
whatever.
Excuses.
Exactly.
Okay,
I got
gotcha.
a million of them.
All right.
That's number one.
Okay.
Number two, about a year ago, I was on a radio show on a phoner, not this one, talking about exactly the same thing.
Mm.
And we went through there, and I had some suggestions that I made, and the radio show host didn't agree with any of them. He said, all you're doing is moving the problem somewhere else. And then we started talking about the city of SeaTac, where I worked, and the progress they have made. And he wasn't having any of it, many of my reasons for it. It was all about the fact that they'd put in planters in the center of the Pacific Highway South. So I finally kind of got my back up about all this, and nobody wants that. And I asked him, so how many sex workers have you been with, have you known in your life? And I don't mean in a biblical sense, of course, but just how many have you known? And he started hemming and hawing, and what does that have to do with it? Well, let me tell you, I have known 50, 60, 70 sex workers during my career. I've arrested them, I've counseled them, I've talked to them, I've debriefed them, I've understood what they do, what they go through, why they work, how they work. And that doesn't mean I have all the answers to what the problem is. Mm-hmm. But your listeners and those listeners need to understand that I have, what's the buzzword now? Lived experience.
Yes.
I have lived experience in the world of prostitution. And I know what's going on out there. And you can believe me or not believe me or agree with my answers, my solutions or not, doesn't really matter. But at least I have that kind of credibility because I have been there from an enforcement standpoint. I get it.
And thank you for that clarification, too, from the enforcement standpoint, because you used to, especially in that SeaTac area, which, funny enough, Gee, we don't talk about the SeaTac area. We're talking more about North Seattle right now.
And you know why we don't talk about SeaTac? Because they don't have a prostitution problem anymore. When I first went there in 1998, I just came out of the academy full-time. I spent a year at Southeast Precinct, literally chasing cows off the roadway. I'm a city boy. I didn't really like that. So I transferred over to Precinct 4, which is SeaTac, White Center, Burien, and I was assigned to the city of SeaTac. The Strip down there. Wasn't a city yet. And I got to tell you, it was like the night of the living dead. The number of sex workers walking Pacific Highway South all day long, 24 hours a day, unbelievable. But I had two really good mentors, and I'm going to name them, Steve Black and Ernie Barth, who were police officers out there. And their attitude was, we as patrol officers can do something about this. And that was a whole new attitude. Mm-hmm. The attitude probably in Seattle right now, and certainly at the sheriff's office back then, was we have a vice unit, let them handle the problem. There's nothing that patrol officers can do, and that's just not true.
I first got here 27 years ago in 1999. I was living in Federal Way, and when I first moved here, I had heard that Pack Highway, right, that used to be the Strip and how crazy it was. And then they said, it's all moved to Aurora now. Aurora is what Pack Highway used to be. So here's my question. Right now on Aurora, let's just talk specifically about that.
Yes.
They've had 95 shootings, 95 in the last 2 years, right? How, if I'm someone living on Aurora, how can we decrease that? How can that stop?
Well, I've got a 5-point plan that I can go through.
Okay.
But the overall answer, the simple answer to your question, G, is we get rid of the sex workers. If the sex workers are gone, the pimps are gone. If the pimps are gone, the shootings will stop and the Johns will be gone. So the question is, how do we get rid of the sex workers? Because it's really difficult to find those shooters. Very, very difficult. You can put officers out there 24. You already have officers out there. Not enough. Mm-hmm. It's hard to do that. It's easier probably in the long term to work on the sex workers. You're never going to solve the problem of prostitution. Remember, it's the world's oldest profession. Everybody knows that. But what you can do is you can disperse it. You can get them to go to other areas. You can break them up. We used to call it stir in the pot, to at least take some action to mitigate the problem and to show the neighborhood. That's also very, very important. Show the neighborhood that their government is doing something about this problem. And I think that's what Seattle has not done a very good job of, is showing that neighborhood that they care and that they're trying to do at least something.
And when you say, so do something with the sex workers, what specifically are you talking about?
Well, you can talk to them, you can arrest them, and that makes a big difference so that it makes it uncomfortable to work in that area. Remember, it's not just now or the last few years. This has been a sex area along Aurora from 85th to 130th, maybe 145th, forever, as long as anybody can remember. but you have to break that up and get them to go somewhere else because you can't solve the problem. How do we expect a 28-year-old police officer, patrol officer, just out of the academy to solve the problem of sex work?
So I just want to make sure I got this right. You're saying to break it up and let's make it to where they go other places.
Yes. Yes.
And
Because you can't.
So instead of 95 shootings in 2 years on Aurora, we'll probably get more shootings in other neighborhoods, but it just won't be as much. So you spread it out. And so basically, we want to do so much to the sex workers, scare them off, put them in other neighborhoods. And wouldn't that increase the violence in that neighborhood?
Yes, but we can't get them into rehab. We can't arrest the shooters or the pimps. Very, very difficult to do. Much easier to arrest the sex workers. You can't solve that problem without dispersing it elsewhere. It's not a perfect solution. I get it. But it's good for the people in that particular neighborhood. And when you spread it out, it's not as concentrated. And I know.
See, now here's going to be my pushback.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking that the bigger problem are the pimps and the Johns versus the sex workers. And in the case of a lot of the women, and I'm going to say women with quotes, they're like young girls who are being victimized out there.
The sex workers, especially at this level, especially at street-level prostitution, they're all victims. They are absolutely victims, and they've been victimized probably their entire life. They were raped by a boyfriend of their mother or their father or whomever it was, and now they've gone down the path of drugs and alcohol and prostitution. Yes, don't get me wrong. They are absolutely victims, and just arresting them is not the total solution, but it is one solution that we might have. Not a solution, but one tool in our toolbox that we can use to break this up, to disperse the sex workers, because I don't have any place to take them as a patrol officer. You know, if they were victims of domestic violence, I could take them to Mary's place. But we don't have anything in society to help these women maybe lead, and maybe they will, after they've been arrested enough, maybe they will decide to get out of the business.
Okay. And by the way, you're listening to the voice of former King County Sheriff John Urquhart here on the Gee and Ursula Show. So I want to go back to what you're saying. You're saying to spread them out, right? And so that way the people in Aurora feel like something's being done. Okay. So then you spread them out. My question is, and then you even admitted that there's probably a good likelihood that the crime and stuff centered around that stuff will probably follow them. So in that neighborhood, there will be a little bit more. So here's my question. How do we stop the criminal activity following the sex workers?
We arrest them as best we can. We arrest clearly the shooters, the pimps, are the real bad guys in this whole situation, right? How do we arrest them? How do we do that? It's very, very difficult. You know, we can flood the area with police officers, which is great for a few weeks, but that's about it. They'll come back. If the sex workers are there, the pimps will be there. Period.
You know, there's a police agency precinct. It's right there in Aurora.
130th and Aurora. Yes, North Precinct.
So the cops, so the police officers that don't deter crime.
Part of the problem is, and gosh, you know, I've always said I will never go after another police agent, never criticize another police agency. But what I will say is there's a culture in most police agencies that patrol officers cannot do anything about prostitution. How are they going to get an offer and agree when they're in uniform? But they can do a lot. And they need to change that culture where patrol officers get involved, and especially if they have soap orders, which they don't have in Seattle. That's one problem. They have a statute or an ordinance for loitering for the purposes of prostitution. It's difficult to enforce because the city attorney won't file charges. Doesn't mean it can't be enforced, but she won't file charges on that. But that's how you get patrol officers, force multiplier. You get them involved so that they can help in finding out who these people are, maybe get them into services if there are any services available, but at the very least they can interact with what's going on, and the public will see that everybody knows who the sex workers are. They see them walking up and down the street. They will see police officers interacting with the sex workers and hopefully trying to do something.
What about what they did in Everett, where they were targeting the Johns?
Yep, Johns with a small J, by the way.
Yeah, yes.
We used to do it all the time. We could put a decoy police officer out in front of a motel, and in SeaTac, when we did it all the time, we could get 12 Johns under arrest in an hour, 2 hours. Okay, that's something. We've got to do that, but just from an equity standpoint, if nothing else. The Johns are as guilty of prostitution, in fact, this is the same statute, as the sex worker is. Arrest them, take them to jail, absolutely. But there's only so much demand you can reduce, because, you take 12 Johns to jail, there's another 100 just coming around the next weekend. And maybe you'll get 25 that won't show up because they saw the publicity about the Johns that got arrested.
Hey, John, something I said to Ursula earlier this morning, and I want to say it to you. I'm going to go back to the 95 shootings right there on Aurora in the last couple of years. And then I had given the example, I don't know, I'm not saying you've been, but you've heard of the Bunny Ranch over there in Nevada, right?
Outside of Las Vegas.
Right. It's been around since 1955.
Mustang Ranch probably is what you're talking about.
Yeah. Nearly 70 years.
Yes.
And in those 70 years, they've had one shooting. And that was a 2023, no injuries, no victims, but there was a shooting in 70 years. So in your opinion, why is that? Why is there 95 in 2 years on Aurora, but there's one shooting in 70 years near the Mustang Ranch?
Because the prostitution at the Mustang Ranch is controlled. It's controlled by the people that run it. It's controlled by the county that allow it, that have made it legalized. The thing about prostitution is there are so many different levels. You know, you can talk about Julia Roberts in the movie. And it goes down the stratosphere, all the way down to the bottom. The lowest level of prostitution is street prostitution, which is what we're talking about here. And these people are addicted to alcohol, addicted to drugs. It's the lowest of the lowest. They tend to be young, not always.
But the number one reason that in 70 years there's been one shooting is because of what? Because it's
legal.
Go ahead, Ursula.
Well, one of the questions I have, and unfortunately, that's not the case here. And like you said, there's so many different levels. And the reason I am sympathetic, I guess, would be maybe not the best word, but to the actual street workers, because I see, I don't live too far from there, and I go to the Lowe's and I go to the Home Depot, and it's so obvious who they are. And it's also obvious that their pimps are nearby. And a lot of our listeners are asking, why is it so hard to arrest the pimps?
Well, you've got to have – the crime is basically living off the proceeds of prostitution, number one. If they are turning out their girls and using force, that's a Class B felony, very serious. If they're just living off the proceeds, that's a Class C felony, also a felony. Prostitution is a misdemeanor. 90 days in jail and a $500 or $1,000 fine up to that.
Yeah.
So, but you have to have somebody to testify against the pimps that that's what they're doing if you're not getting them shooting up the neighborhood. Yeah. And who's going to do that? The prostitute isn't going to do it. The sex worker is not going to testify against them.
One of my last things I want to ask, in your opinion, what should be the main goal in all of this? And all of this conversation centered around pimps and prostitution and sex workers, in your opinion, what should be the number one goal?
Protecting the sex workers, because they are victims, and I have a tremendous amount of empathy and sympathy for them. Protecting them so they're not getting beat up by their pimps, get them off drugs and alcohol, and equally important is protecting the neighborhoods that are being affected by this. And I don't mean just the shootings, but imagine driving up and down Aurora, if you live out there, and seeing the sex workers doing the stroll up there. Imagine if you live in those neighborhoods on each side of Aurora that are basically blue-collar neighborhoods, and going out in the mornings and picking up the used condoms and then counting the gunshots at night. That's where government has failed. Government has failed these people that live there in primarily blue-collar neighborhoods where their entire net worth is tied up in their house. It's going to be difficult to sell if there's gunshots and prostitution a block away.
It's going to be
That's
difficult
what needs
to
to be
sleep.
done. And it's difficult to sleep. Yeah, that's just so abhorrent to me as a government worker, a former government worker, that we can't do a better job, and we need to figure out how to do a better job. And
have we tried everything?
No, we have not tried everything. We have in other areas, but Seattle has not. And the soap ordinance is one of the biggest things they could do. And boy, she ought to get her act together, that city attorney, and work on those soap ordinances.
Uncle John, it's always good to have you in here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, anytime.
And don't get any more speeding.
I'm driving.
Tickets. You know
I was going 10 miles an hour across there today.
Those darn
When I came
cameras.
across Bourne.
Hey, we got scenarios happening at 10:47. But up next, some of y'all are lying. And I don't want to make any sweeping statements, but according to this, they're trying to say that men are nearly twice as likely as women to admit to lying in job interviews. Say what? Now, of course, you know me. I'm sure my take on this is going to be totally different. Get ready for it. Next, Gee Ursula.
KIRO News Radio, winner of 7 regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Breaking news coverage, best newscast, excellence in writing, investigative reporting, sports reporting, hard news. Capped with a prestigious prize for overall excellence. And we thank you, our audience across the Pacific Northwest. You are the reason we strive to be the Northwest's trusted news source. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-881-8686. That's 800-881-8686. 800-881-8686.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 15th, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi. Just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add one line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
Your medication for enlarged prostate is working. That's what you tell yourself. You're up 3 times a night instead of 5. The urgency is manageable. The stream's not great, but it's fine. That's the problem. Fine. Enlarged prostate, or BPH, doesn't pause because the medication takes the edge off. The prostate keeps growing. The bladder keeps working harder. And over time, those changes can be harder to reverse. But surgery? Not for you, right? Aquablation is not the surgery you're picturing. It's the only ultrasound-guided, robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Don't wait until things become unbearable. Find an Aquablation urologist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466. 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum
rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
$83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise. There's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
This Memorial Day, get $525 off every window, $1,000 off every door, plus 12 months zero-interest financing. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Summer's supposed to be fun. When the kids are home all day, the groceries, they add up fast. G. Scott here with a quick heads up from Safeway. There's a program called Sunbucks that gives qualifying families $120 per child for summer groceries. Some families are signed up automatically and will get a card in the mail. Others need to apply. Take a minute to check. It could really help put food on the table for your family. Head to freesummermeals.org to find out more. That's freesummermeals.org.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. For now, no one can get paid from a controversial pool of money launched by the Justice Department this week. Details from ABC's Alex Mallon in Washington, D.C.
A federal judge in Virginia on Friday ordered a temporary freeze on any payments from the Trump administration out of the $1.8 billion so-called anti-weaponization fund, as the judge considers arguments in a lawsuit brought by a former January 6 prosecutor to block the fund permanently. The order from District Judge Leonie Brinkema specifically bars the administration, quote, from taking any further action pursuant to the creation or operation of the anti-weaponization fund. Judge Brinkema has ordered an expedited briefing schedule in the lawsuit and a hearing set for Friday, June 12th. Alex Mallon, ABC News, Washington.
Concern over Longview's water supply is forcing health officials to take action to protect the city's primary aquifer. We get this part of the story from KIRO News Radio's Corin Haig in Longview.
In the wake of Tuesday's tank implosion and chemical spill comes a troubling realization about the network of ditches designed to hold and scrub paper mill wastewater. Brooke Stanfield is with the Environmental Protection Agency.
This ditch sits on top of a sole source aquifer and a well field where the city of Longview gets its primary drinking water.
The EPA and local utilities hope to protect the aquifer by drawing fresh water from the nearby Cowlitz River to flood and dilute the ditch over the well field. In Longview, Corwin Hake, KIRO News Radio.
And we're learning the names and more about the victims of the implosion. KIRO 7 TV's Jason Slaw spoke with friends of some of the victims' families.
For the last 2 days, it's kind of all anybody's been talking about. And we, share stories about people that have passed. And it's such a small town, you're more than likely to know someone or be connected to someone who was lost.
Well, that young woman says she's connected to multiple victims, a distant relative of brothers Tyler and Brad Covington. Tyler, who leaves behind a fiance and their 3 children. She says she was also classmates with Dylan Miller, a father and husband-to-be.
A rocket belonging to Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin exploded during a test launch on the launching pad on Thursday. The blast shook nearby homes and briefly painted the sky orange. Jeff Bezos says all personnel are safe. No one was on board. The company says the rocket experienced an anomaly during an engine test for the massive 320-foot-tall New Glenn rocket. And now for your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic on I-5 northbound SR20. There's a collision blocking the right lane there. It's about a 10-minute delay right now. The maintenance is still ongoing on eastbound 18 between Covington and Maple Valley. It's still a 1-hour drive from Linwood to Bellevue and at least an hour and 20 from Everett. If you're on I-5, it's about an hour and 10 from Everett and 50 minutes Linwood to Seattle. This traffic report is brought to you by the KIRO News Radio Desk. For your weather, we've got some pockets of showers this morning. Highs will be much cooler today in the upper 50s and lower 60s with some gusty winds at times. Right now, it's 52 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Fresh Friday to all of you. Text us. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line is 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. A lot of you reacting to our last interview with former King County Sheriff John Urquhart. So we're going to bring back some of the things that he said. In particular, he said that police should be arresting the sex workers in order to address some of the issues going on Aurora Avenue. And we have some thoughts on that, and we'll share that, and we'll share some of your feedback as well. But again, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO is the number for you to text. But right now, let's talk about lying, because when it comes to applying for a job, some of you are lying through your teeth, and some of you, maybe you could even stand to stretch the truth a little more. And the question is, which category do you fall into? So, Gee, would you believe that this new national survey from Resume Genius found that men are nearly twice as likely as women to admit that they have lied during a job interview? Women are also more likely than men to say they've considered lying, but ultimately decided against it. And overall, more than a third of the folks who are looking for jobs say they have lied in an interview. 20% say they've thought about it. But here's one that really stands out. Gen Z workers. More than 40% admit telling a lie during an interview, which was the highest rate of any generation. What do you think?
I think that this is one of those things where I'm going to go the opposite of this. And the opposite is saying, yes, I do agree and believe that men admit more to the lies. The problem is women, they lie. They just won't admit to it, right? So, and you're like, gee, well, what are you talking about? You know what? I'm glad you asked me. So how about this? It's Saturday morning. You guys need to go to the grocery store together. How long is it going to take you to get ready? How long is it going to take your significant other to get ready?
Oh, no.
No. Hold on.
It's very specific.
This is just true. Question. Can you just wake up out of bed and in 15 minutes, like, I need to go to the store? Boom. Somebody else wakes up out of bed, like, I need to go put this on. I got to put this on first. Men, by nature, it is what it is. We're not great looking, right? We don't really take care of our skin. We don't get pedicures. We don't do a lot of the beauty things, right? There's a lot of people listening right now. You don't even go get pedicures. So my point is this.
I was going to say, what does this have to do with lying? Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
What does it have to do with lying?
Yeah.
I'm glad you. Funny you say that. Because literally, there is a culture in the whole beauty world of straight not appearing as if you really are. Most of the time, when someone pulls up, like, hey, when you take it all off, what do they really look like? The fellas are usually going to look the same. So my point is men are going to admit that they lie a lot. They admit they lie. But women, they're going to sit there. Yeah, I know I'm in trouble. Women are going to sit there and say, you know what? I never told a lie. Oh, not at all. I never said anything. I'm perfect.
Of all your analogies, I would rank that one as one of the worst. I'm sorry, but
that thing hit. that thing hit. One thing I've learned about lately, a lot of people don't like what I say, but you can't find the lie.
Well, half of us might agree and half might disagree.
I think it's how you look at it. Women, and many times because of pressure from society, feel like I don't even want to bring that up. I mean, because that's a whole nother conversation. That's a great conversation.
You just said pressure from society. Keep going.
I think there's a lot of pressure from society. Also, if it's not pressure from society, it's like, hey, you know what? If we can enhance our looks, why not? But that has nothing to do with lying. We're not saying that we're not doing these things. We're saying, hey, we want to feel better about ourselves. We want to present ourselves in a certain way. Mm-hmm. That's not lying.
Do you think?
But what we're talking about when it comes to specific lying in an interview, I think that, first of all, how much stock do you put in this particular survey, but let's go with it. There are studies that show that women tend to undercut themselves when it comes to an interview and what they're capable of doing, while men will exaggerate their qualifications and have no qualms about it. And I think, again, that's something that is brought up through society where men are told, historically, you can do anything. Thankfully, that message is getting to women more often. Mm-hmm. But I would say that, yeah, I can see where maybe it's not lying, but maybe stretching or over-exaggerating or fluffing up your resume. I think men would be more apt to do that and more confident in doing that than women.
You mentioned pressure from society, right? And I want to stay along that same thing. I think that there is a pressure in society. If a man lies, it's like, shocker. If a woman lies, pressure from society is like, right? And with this survey, the survey is that men admitted to lying more than women. I'm saying that, of course, that tracks because women aren't going to admit that they lie. They even took this survey lying. That's my point. And I think there's a pressure. For an example, one of the things, Ursula, you can't ask. I'm going to say something here. I might get in trouble. You can't ask this. You can't ask how many partners that you've had in your lifetime.
Who can't ask?
It's a dangerous question, Ursula. Some people ask it, some people don't.
Don't both genders lie about that?
Yeah, they do. They do lie. I do agree with that.
And why do you think women have to lie a certain way and men have to lie a certain way because of what society's? Yeah.
Did you see how we just came back to the pressure of society? Yes. So you were right.
Yeah.
I agree that the pressure of society makes one have to say 3 or 4, and the other one can say more. Like society says he can say more. Society says she has to say less. So she ends up lying. Or maybe not lying. It could be telling the truth. I don't know.
I'll let you sit in that one.
Hey, but no.
But yeah, I just don't buy into the premise that a woman is lying because she does, like, I do my hair every day. I know that I'm going to be on camera. I do my hair every day. I get my hair colored once every 6 months. I wear makeup. Is that lying, or is that just trying to present myself in a way that I feel comfortable?
I think it is presenting yourself in a way that you feel comfortable. I also agree is what society has done. And my point is that the fellas, we don't have to do that because society allows us to just go out looking any type of way, right?
But if that were the case, you wouldn't dress up the way that you do. I mean, you dress up more than anybody in this studio.
I'm just talking totality. I'm not talking about me personally. I'm just talking about a lot of fellas. Like for example, if I were to ask, hey fellas, how many of you guys have gone to get a pedicure before? Like, how often do you get Chef, how often do you go get a pedicure?
Maybe once every 18 months on average.
See what I'm saying? Ursula, it's been 18 months since you got a pedicure?
No, it's been a week.
See what I'm saying?
Well, gee, is the point, though, like, it's harder for men to be deceptive about their net worth and accomplishments than physical appearance?
Yeah, now we will lie about that. We will lie about net worth and how much money we make. Hey, coming up next here on the Gee Ursula Show is Scenarios.
Under these arches, opposing teams are put to the test. Can they hear themselves over the boom of the 12s? Can they withstand the Seattle elements? Can they compete against us? Touchdown, Seahawks! This city lives for Sunday. Get your tickets for Seahawks game days at Lumen Field and experience what this city lives for. Visit Seahawks.com today.
I have purchased several vehicles from Carter Subaru over the years, and our family keeps coming back for two simple reasons. Their customer service is truly outstanding, and they genuinely invest in our community. When a business supports the place that you call home, that really matters to me. If you've been thinking about a new Subaru Outback, like the one I drive, now is a great time to make your move. The 2026 Outback is built for Pacific Northwest living, whether you're heading to the mountains or the coast or just navigating another rainy Seattle commute like today. It is ready for all of it. And right now, you can get a 2026 Subaru Outback with 2.9% APR financing on approved credit. And because Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealership, they have more than 800 Subarus in stock right now. Whether you're hiking, camping, weekends, mountain drives, whatever it is, this is Subaru country. Carter Subaru in Ballard, Shoreline, or online at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 5/31/26.
KIRO News Radio.
Get on the YouTube channel.
We're live all day on YouTube. Every show, every day.
Hang out with us. The whole gang's there.
And you never know what you might see.
Back up the camera. Oh, my God.
Just search KIRO News Radio, then subscribe.
We are
Subaru of Puyallup.
We're stress-free.
Stress-free. Estamos libre de estrés.
We're almost 100 employees strong. We make sure the sales process is smooth.
We have video car walkthroughs.
We have stress-free pricing.
We value our customers and we value their experience.
We're like a family here. We love our community.
And support local charities. We are
Subaru
of Puyallup, your
stress-free
dealership.
What would you do if the person you love needed round-the-clock care and you had no plan to pay for it?
I was very worried about running out of money.
When Mike's wife was diagnosed with dementia, he turned to LifePoint Law and elder law attorney Rajiv Nagayich.
And then he said, "You're going to be okay, but we have to get through these steps." Then I felt a whole lot better going into it. It was still a very difficult process, but in the end, I knew that there was someone there that if I needed help, understood what I'm going through.
LifePoint Law helped Mike protect his wife, his finances, and his future.
They laid it out really well up front. They give you a very in-depth plan. There are so many things that you don't know. I could never have done it on my own.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar in Tacoma on June 4th, Mukilteo on June 6th, Lacey on June 9th, or Bellevue on June 13th. 6:30 p.m. Space is limited. Sign up at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
This baseball season, Home Comfort Alliance is changing the game. John Curley here. Get the price of a new heating and AC system in just 60 seconds on your phone with no pressure, no waiting. Just a few questions and you get a winning personalized price. That's a home run. And if your system is over 12 years old, it could be costing you up to 20% more or could soon fail. Score a personalized price for a new system in 60 seconds at HomeComfortAlliance.com. Call the comfort people. Home Comfort Alliance.
Have something to say? We'd love to hear it. Text KIRO News Radio at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Guys, tired all the time? Gaining weight? Low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. This June, for Men's Health Month, Revive Men's Health in Seattle is offering a free comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. No guessing, just answers. Over 100,000 men have trusted Revive to get real results. More energy, better sleep, improved mood, and confidence that shows. If something feels off, don't wait. Take control and protect your long-term health by knowing your numbers. This offer ends June 30th. Schedule your free comprehensive wellness panel today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Feel better, live stronger. Start now.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning to all of you and happy Fresh Fridays. Coming up next here on the Gee and Ursula Show in the 11 o'clock hour, we just had former King County Sheriff John Urquhart here on the show, and we were talking about ideas that he has to help get rid of pimps and prostitution in on Aurora and other places. So a lot of you text in. We'll be addressing those text messages, and then we'll talk about it. We'll do that next. But right now, scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
My husband grew up poor and has always been worried about money. We don't really have any money problems, but he is just, well, he's thrifty. It's never been a problem until recently. During the pandemic, he freaked out and worried that we'd both lose our jobs. We didn't, and we won't as of now, but he was worried about it. So we cut back on expenses. That's fine. Then he started getting very serious about clipping coupons and finding the best deals on everything. He will drive 10 miles out of his way to save a few pennies on a gallon on gas. Even that is something I can live with. But now it has gone too far. This dude has organized a Facebook group. And this face group is all about sharing ideas on how to get free lunches, free coffee, buy things on sale, returning all kinds of stuff. This is his obsession, and it is driving me crazy. This isn't normal, is it? Everyone needs a hobby, but this seems like it's going too far. What should I do? 888-973-5476 is the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. Ursula, you up to bat first.
So a couple of thoughts. One would be, if it truly is the obsession that you were talking about and it is affecting your marriage and your relationship and getting the way of you, then have that conversation. If it is just, hey, can we try to find some kind of compromise where you do that? Because ultimately, he's saving all of you money. He's saving your whole family money.
Right.
And now he's really into it, and the bug has bitten him, and now he's seeing that. I mean, ultimately, it's going to benefit all of you.
Right.
But if it's to the point where it's such an obsession that it is getting the way of a healthy relationship, then you have to have a conversation, and maybe there's some boundaries that you guys can come up with.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a horrible thing. Again, unless it keeps him from getting out at all, is the only thing that he talks about. And I say this because I'm kind of chuckling with the description of someone who drives miles to save on gas, especially right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my wonderful husband has certain gas stations that if he's even in the vicinity of, he wants to go to that one because he knows it's going to be a lot cheaper.
Right.
Safeway, 145th.
Yeah.
So I chuckle because, that's important to him. So, whatever. Great. I'll support that. But if it becomes such an obsession, then you need to have that conversation.
Ursula, when I hear this, and as I've just turned 50, I look back on the things that I used to be like, what my hobbies were, right? And by the way, if you're listening, maybe you have hobbies.
Oh, I have one that's obsessive.
Or maybe you don't. And I got to tell you, I want to give a shout out. I have to give a shout out to my wife because I'm not normal. What I mean by I'm not normal, I think that I'm going to find something and I'm going to get fixated on it like crazy. And I guess my advice to this wife is this. I think that every person, man or woman, they might get fixated on something, and it's a hobby. Hopefully, it's a positive hobby. And I think in this case, which would you rather this person do? Yeah. Would you rather them do this or do something, whatever that is?
Partying, clubbing, yes. He's doing something that actually helps all of you.
So imagine a bunch of wives going to the happy hour and meeting, and everybody writes down their problems of their husband, and they all put them right in the middle of the table. Yeah. And then they start reading all the biggest problems that you have with your husband. Now, granted, every wife is going to have a problem with their husband. No doubt about it. Wouldn't you be okay with the problem being that?
Well, yes and no. And the reasons I say and no is if it comes to the point, and I will say that I've sometimes veered toward the point where I'm like, thank God I have Mark. He understands where I am with this fragrance obsession that I have that has now become parties at our house centered around that. It's become groups. It's become, when we travel, I'm going to go to a perfume. These are things that I'm so thankful that I have a very patient husband. But if it's to the point where it is affecting your marriage, even something as innocent as coupon clipping needs to be addressed. You know what I mean? I mean, it needs to be, and it's reminding me that I need to check myself sometimes. Yeah. Because if it's to the point where you don't have quality time anymore because that's all they're obsessed with,
right,
that's a problem.
Well, that's why I made sure, like you just did, I made sure to give props to my wife. Because I said, I admit it, I'm not normal.
Yes.
I get fixated,
yes.
and I'm just stuck on it. And she knows exactly what I'm fixated on over the last month and a half.
Yes.
Like, I just get on it.
Yes.
And I don't
Me
stop.
Too.
I try to be better. Nick, what do you got, man?
I'm all for being thrifty with your shopping and saving dollars here and there when it comes to your bills and expenses. Sales at the grocery store, keeping an eye out for the lowest price on the gallon pump. But this fella seems to be on the hyperdrive with this game of pushing the buck. It was one thing to be in fear of losing your jobs and not having the money coming in, but that should be let go at this point because they're safe. And that's not even the end point with them, though. Starting a Facebook page community on the subject, trying to pull those pro moves when it's just coming off as being way too hardcore and over the top with his old attitude of his. Cut back the clubbing, mall shopping, and partying, sure, but this dude needs to learn to just let loose a little bit and just stop worrying about money in the first place a little bit.
I have a question. Would this still be so annoying to the spouse if he just took that couple bucks he saved on every transaction and threw it in a vacation account and took you to Costa Rica or Aruba every year?
Hey, Chef, I can answer that. Still wouldn't make it better. The point is his obsession. That's the point. And this is what I'm learning. Like, it could be positive. It could be negative. Like Ursula talked about, you have to have hopefully you have a spouse. Not have to. Hopefully you have a spouse that is just understanding. And I raised my hand. I got that. Like, I know I'm weird.
But us as the ones who have these kind of fleeting obsessions or whatever, we also have to understand that we need to check ourselves.
Yes. Yes. And by the way, I just checked myself for about 5 minutes. Now I'm going to go back to my obsession. Hey, coming up next here on the Gee Ursula Show, we're going to respond to former Sheriff John Urquhart here as he was talking about how to get rid of pimps and prostitution and all that stuff. But there's one thing that he said that I'm still thinking about, and I was really shocked. We'll talk about that next. Gee Ursula.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Progressive knows you could have easily taken the freeway, but you took the scenic route to see a waterfall and an oddly busy boiled peanut stand. Discovering the unexpected is exactly why you bought an RV, so protect it with a bundle from Progressive. Because although you may be 3 hours behind schedule, you're 6 jars of jam richer and possibly enrolled in a butter-churning workshop. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home and auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort.
Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now it's the final days of our Everything's on Sale event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses. Our Memorial Day event ends Monday. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious, with better nutrition too. It's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best.
The Harnish Auto Family Super Sale is happening right now. The cost of living has gone up, but when buying a car, it doesn't have to feel like it. Zero Down delivers, no payments all summer, and exclusive 10-day deals in partnership with Tapco Credit Union. With a wide selection of new vehicles and over 400 used vehicles across 5 dealerships, you'll find just what you're looking for. Visit Subaru, Volkswagen, and Chevy Buick GMC of Puyallup or Kia and Chevy of Everett. Harnish Auto Family. People matter.
Offers available OAC on select models. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Mike Dubusky. Pam Bondi, the former Attorney General, wrapping up 4 hours on Capitol Hill today, facing questions from lawmakers about the DOJ's release of the Epstein files. The meeting was behind closed doors. ABC's Aaron Katersky has what we know so far.
We know from her opening statement, which was released, that she believes the Justice Department, as she led it, did what it was supposed to do and complied with the Transparency Act that required the release of all of these documents. She also said she left the particulars of it on her deputy, who's now the acting Attorney General, Todd Blanche.
Lawmakers in Louisiana have approved a new congressional map which eliminates one of the state's 2 majority black districts. Republican Governor Jeff Landry is expected to sign off on the new map. It comes after the Supreme Court moved to weaken the Voting Rights Act in a decision last month. This is ABC News. The U.S. had been readying a plan to create a facility in Kenya designed to treat Americans who were infected with Ebola. But now it appears that plan is on ice, with the Kenyan High Court temporarily suspending those plans, saying that anyone infected by or exposed to the Ebola virus would not be allowed inside Kenyan borders. A new lawsuit against the genetic testing company 23andMe alleges the company didn't do enough to safeguard customers' private information during a data breach 3 years ago.
The lawsuit also claims 23andMe downplayed the breach, saying it was doing everything possible to protect customers' data while hackers were already selling information, including ancestry and genetic health details on the dark web, and demanding a ransom. We have reached out to 23andMe for comment and have not heard back yet.
ABC's Stephanie Ramos and 9 protesters were arrested today outside of Delaney Hall, that migrant detention facility in Newark, New Jersey. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Recovery efforts are still underway in Longview. More on the victims next, but first, let's get a check on the roads. If you're taking I-5 south, traffic is bumper to bumper. Linwood to Seattle, about 50 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 40. Linwood to Bellevue, about 45 minutes. Be prepared for delays if you're traveling on northbound I-5 near Eastlake. Planned construction and maintenance is underway. This traffic report is brought to you by the Seattle Mariners. Don't miss fireworks nights all summer long, presented by T-Mobile. The next show is June 19th. Get your tickets at mariners.com/fireworks.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. Recovery efforts continue today at the site of the Longview chemical tank implosion, where crews hope to locate the last 3 workers missing and presumed dead. Longview Fire Battalion Chief Matt Amos says their remains lie just beyond the area emergency responders have penetrated so far.
They have to decontaminate every time that they leave that area, and then they should be rested and ready for me when we go back, and then we will explore further in.
Crews recovered the remains of 6 more victims yesterday, bringing the official death toll to 8. It's not going to be easy to get around this weekend. 3 construction projects will be getting in your way. More from KIRO News Radio's Chris Sullivan.
All lanes of southbound 405 will be closed between Totem Lake and Kirkland from late night tonight to early Monday morning. The state's replacing a fish culvert. Eastbound 520 will be closed from I-5 to the east side all weekend, too. Contractors there are working on a temporary off-ramp to Montlake, which will open to drivers on Monday. And you won't be able to access westbound 18 from westbound I-90 in Snoqualmie. Those ramps will be closed for paving and striping. Chris Sullivan, KIRO News Radio.
Washington Senator Patty Murray says she'll be back at the Capitol next week, but with an ankle brace. The senator shared on X she broke her ankle after tripping while running down a set of stairs earlier this week. Despite the injury, she says she'll still vote and attend hearings, and joked that she'll still be one of the fastest senators, even if she's on crutches or wheels. Meantime, the Pierce County Sheriff's Office says a 24-year-old man is facing felony charges after a detective watched him go door-to-door stealing mail. It happened last weekend when the detective saw the suspect opening multiple mailboxes and taking whatever he found.
How does this look familiar to you?
That's why I was gonna.
Where'd you get this from?
Officers recovered the mail stolen from 10 victims, including medication, and arrested the man who also had warrants for a stolen vehicle and third-degree theft. The detective later returned every piece of mail to its rightful owner. Now to an update on the murder of 17-year-old Braylon Diaz in Parkland Sunday night. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has details.
On Tuesday, the Pierce County Sheriff's Office released a picture of the car believed to have been used in the robbery and fatal shooting, asking for the public's help. Deputy Carly Capetto says on Wednesday that vehicle was found abandoned in Federal Way, and investigators say they now have a person of interest.
The car has enough evidential value in it, so this has definitely launched us one step closer to making an arrest.
Deputy Capetto says the car was not reported stolen, but would not say if an arrest is imminent. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A new special edition Orca card is hitting the Puget Sound.
They have to decontaminate.
To mark Seattle's role as a 2026 World Cup host city, transit agencies have released a limited-time Orca card designed by a local artist, Allison Bremner. The card pops with a blue-green raven and a green whale motif and colorful soccer balls. Bremner says the design captures the joy and motion of soccer in the Pacific Northwest. And for your KIRO News Radio weather, we've got some pockets of showers continuing throughout the afternoon. Highs will be cooler today in the upper 50s and lower 60s with some gusty winds at times. Right now, it's about 52 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Happy Fresh Fridays here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Grateful that you're hanging out with us. Good morning to you, Ursula.
Good morning. Can't believe it's already 11 o'clock. It's like we are rounding third base.
Could not believe it was 11. I looked, it's 11.
I know. Coming up at 11:30, it is time for us to agree to disagree. As always, we tell you that we cannot do the show without you. Our Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line is 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. A lot of you weighed in on our interview with the former King County Sheriff John Urquhart, so we are going to get to that right now.
Top stories at 11
on the Gee and Ursula Show.
And as you've been hearing on our station and anywhere that you read or listen or watch the news, you see that right now Aurora Avenue, in particular in North Seattle, is a mess. It's been plagued by prostitution and trafficking and gun violence, and recently a bunch of shootouts. And you mentioned, Gee, that there have been more than 90 just 95. In the past 95 yep. in the past 2 years. Mm-hmm. And residents are really frustrated, but it seems like we all have the same question. Why is it so hard to get this situation under control? Mm-hmm. And so we had John Urquhart, the former King County Sheriff, join us, and we need to bring up some of the things he said and have you have a chance to respond, because we wanted to listen, mm-hmm. And we didn't really get a chance to respond to some of the things that were said, but all of you did during that interview, and so we want to share some of that. But this is what John Urquhart said.
We get rid of the sex workers. If the sex workers are gone, the pimps are gone. If the pimps are gone, the shootings will stop, and the Johns will be gone. So the question is, how do we get rid of the sex workers? Because it's really difficult to find those shooters. Very, very difficult. You can put officers out there 24. We already have officers out there. Not enough. Mm-hmm. It's hard to do that. It's easier probably in the long term to work on the sex workers. You're never going to solve the problem of prostitution. Remember, it's the world's oldest profession. Everybody knows that. But what you can do is you can disperse it. You can get them to go to other areas. You can break them up. We used to call it stir in the pot, to at least take some action to mitigate the problem and to show the neighborhood. That's also very, very important. Show the neighborhood that their government is doing something about this problem.
So you had some questions following that comment, Gee.
I did. And I'll first say this. I got love for my guy, Uncle John. I really do. I was actually shocked that he said that. And the reason why I was shocked is because his words were, hey, we should disperse it. We should scatter it. So it's not so much in that neighborhood, so it goes other places. What's concerning to me about that is this. He didn't say end it. He said disperse it. And so when you disperse it, we all know that right now, because prostitution, that's criminal activity, there's a lot of crime that comes around it. Shootings, turf wars, human trafficking, all the different stuff that comes with it. And so I was shocked when he said, and he actually goes on, as a matter of fact, is this second cut that right there? He goes on. Listen to this. So instead of 95 shootings in 2 years on Aurora, we'll probably get more shootings in other neighborhoods, but it just won't be as much. So you spread it out. Wouldn't that increase the violence in that neighborhood?
Yes, but we can't get them into rehab. We can't arrest the shooters or the pimps. Very, very difficult to do. Much easier to arrest the sex workers. You can't solve that problem without dispersing it elsewhere. It's not a perfect solution. I get it. But it's good for the people in that particular neighborhood. And when you spread it out, it's not as concentrated.
At the very end, towards the end, Ursula, I asked him, what is the number one goal? And he said, to protect the sex workers, mm-hmm. number one. And the second goal is to protect the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. I'm confused because if the goal is to protect the sex workers in the neighborhood so far, and you use the solution of dispersing it, I'm confused because he even admits that that would bring crime to other neighborhoods. So what about those neighborhoods? And that would increase crime.
Yeah, and those neighborhoods are probably like, now, thanks, but I don't want them moving here. You don't want to move the problem. Now, I think, and John is so open about joining us, and we need to have an additional conversation because I would imagine right now it is just so concentrated in this like 15-block area of North Seattle right now. And for many, many years, John worked the stretch in the SeaTac area, and it's not a situation like that anymore, right? We haven't. When was the last time we talked about sex workers in SeaTac? It's been a minute. Right. It's been a long time.
Right.
So he is saying that this was the experience that they had, which was not to arrest the sex workers as if they are the worst of the problem. It is taking the problem out of there because right now, this is how I'm interpreting it. because, I push back and say, I think they are the victims in all of this.
Right.
And I think I have a bigger problem with the Johns and especially the pimps.
Yeah. Well, true. You don't have to really interpret his answer. His answer was to disperse them. To scatter them. No different than homeless sweeps. Not to fix it, but to sweep it. And so therefore other neighborhoods and by the way, when I say other neighborhoods, what other neighborhoods would it probably go to? I don't know, but I'd imagine.
Well, it goes to the neighborhood where there's no enforcement. And right now in Seattle, there's no enforcement or very little enforcement. Right? I mean, they're trying to do more patrolling, but we have a city attorney who does not believe in the SOAP district, which Sheriff Urquhart said is a tool in the toolbox. Other cops that I've talked to who have patrolled that area have said they don't have enough police officers. Right. They really do need to swarm that area, but they don't have enough right now.
So you guys are saying
this is short term. Long term is the idea, the conversations about legalizing prostitution,
I'm not even
that
going
kind
there.
of thing.
So there's been 95 shootings.
Yes.
So I just want to make sure I got this correct. There's been 95 shootings in the Aurora area within the last 2 years. So my question would be, so you guys are saying the reason why there's 95 shootings is because there needs to be more enforcement.
That's one of the solutions. One of the solutions. I disagree with John in that the arrest of the sex workers would be to get them the help they need. And I think that's his concern, number one concern, he said, was for the sex workers. Yeah. So I think it's to get them off the street. Right. And he said there is a hierarchy when it comes to sex work. And my interpretation would be get them out of harm's way. Mm-hmm. And you're taking also the attraction for what's going on there on Aurora.
How did that work in the drug crisis when they were arresting people on crack?
Not well, right? Is that what you're talking about?
I mean, you've been in news a long time too, so you know.
Yeah.
How did it work to arrest the people on crack, to arrest people on drugs? Did it solve the drug crisis?
No, we still have a drug crisis.
Would you say we are better or worse today with the drug crisis?
Well, we've got other drugs too in the picture.
So we didn't get better.
No.
So is it fair? So nobody can see the correlation between arresting people on drugs and arresting the sex workers.
Yeah.
Don't you guys think the same thing might happen with the?
Oh yeah, that's why I'm questioning if that's the solution. I think the solution should be crack down on the pimps and the people who are soliciting the sex work. But I understand where he's coming from, saying, but this wouldn't happen if that was not available there in those locations. But we did get some texts. So MFG in the 253 says, it is human trafficking on the most fundamental level. Since the beginning of time, women have been viewed as objects to satisfy the sexual desires of men. Add in a likely lifetime of trauma, neglect, and abuse, along with substance use and mental health, and they are further viewed as unworthy and disposable. Agree with all that. And now the solution is to arrest the women who are stuck in an impossible situation? No. The runners and consumers of sex work and prostitution are the criminals. I agree. That is where the enforcement and criminality need to start. There is no desire to rein in prostitution because there is an insatiable market for it. Stop further victimizing women who've been victimized their entire lives. I agree with MFG.
Yeah. Have you guys ever had moles in your yard? Have you guys ever had moles?
Yeah.
Can we all agree that it's the worst? Like you just come out, you got freshly cut grass, and you come out and there's moles, right? And then I know there's been some text messages with some friends like, hey, what do you do? What do you do? Everybody's got their different things that they do. I finally ordered some stuff, or you put the little traps in there, and you try to do all of these different things to catch the moles in your yard. When it happens in your yard, you are willing to do anything that it takes to decrease the activity of moles in your yard when you're living there. Mm-hmm. But if you don't live there and that's not your yard, then you can sit there and pick and choose on what type of things happen for the most. All I'm saying is when it's your yard and it happens in your yard, usually you will try anything to try to stop the activities of moles in your yard. So what I'm saying is, and I asked the sheriff, former sheriff, this, has everything been tried to minimize the crime in these areas?
No.
And to which he said no.
No. I want to just mention a couple of text messages, additional. 425 from a regular listener says, John is right. I was trafficked as a teenager, and when arrested repeatedly, it got known as a hot spot, and we would get moved, sometimes out of state, quote, parentheses, by the pimps. Anonymous in Auburn says, it may sound like tough love, but arresting people who are breaking the law, including sex workers in some cases, can sometimes be the intervention that gets them out of immediate danger. It can connect them with regular meals, treatment, shelter, and services that might help them build a better life. And this person says, a friend of mine has a daughter who struggled with heroin addiction for more than 10 years, and it wasn't until she was arrested that things finally changed. Today, she has completely turned her life around and is finishing her master's degree so she can help others who have faced the same challenges that she did.
I believe 1,000,000% that there are exceptions. But I gave, and I'm giving, the example of arresting people on drugs. There has been a war on drugs for 50 plus years. 50 plus years. And it hasn't gotten better yet. And you know what they did? They arrested people. Some of those folks were able to get services. Some people that are listening right now, actually, your life got saved because you got arrested. There are exceptions to that. But my point is if we want or have wanted over the last 50 years to take care of the drug problem, how did it work arresting people on drugs? Because it obviously didn't work, because our drug problem is worse today than it was 50 years ago. Yeah. And so sometimes I've come to the conclusion that the truth is sometimes people don't want it fixed.
Well,
I really don't think that.
What do you think? Because I've never asked you this question. Given what we know about what is going on right now in North Seattle on Aurora, what should be done? Because it's an acute situation right now. What should be done immediately?
Immediately. If I were in power or I had a pen, I would immediately legalize it. And the reason why I would legalize it is because we need to first decrease the crimes that are around it. There's human trafficking that's happening. We need to get to the bottom of that. There is women that are being held and trafficked against their will. We need to get to the bottom of that. So I want to make sure that the women are safer, the Johns are safer, and we can get rid of the pimp stuff. So for an example, how often do we hear about, except for breaking into marijuana shops, but in your top 5 stories, since you and I have been doing the show, how much crime do we talk about with marijuana? Somebody was shot up because they stole their marijuana. Why do we have less crime centered around marijuana today? Because it's legal. People can go and get it. There's no criminal activity around that. Now, I'm not saying that something doesn't happen. So I know that what I say might be like, gee, you can't do that. All I'm saying is we've tried everything else. We've never tried this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am. I can admit that. But my point is why haven't we tried it? That's all. Why haven't we tried it?
Cliff in Woodinville actually just texted in and says, you are arguing the sheriff's point. Take down the drug suppliers and dealers. That's the same as taking down the pimps and sex workers. Exactly what the sheriff said. In my opinion, so if I had the opportunity to be in charge, I would absolutely flood the area right now with the police officers that you have available, I would be arresting, like they did in Everett, I would be arresting the Johns and the pimps, and I would be trying to get help as much as I could for the women who are being trafficked, who are very young in many cases.
Does sweeps help the homelessness crisis? Sure, that's an honest question for everybody. Does sweeps, getting rid of the encampments, does it improve the homelessness crisis?
Not only in and of themselves, but in addition to providing additional shelter. I know you don't like that answer, but it's not a yes or a no.
You mean the shelter that we don't have here?
That's what I'm saying. So you can't have a sweep unless you have additional shelter beds. You have services for people who are drug addicted or mentally ill. It's a sweep alone is not going to be an effective measure.
Why don't we have the shelter beds? What have we been
because
doing?
Because too many people have been doing not enough with the money that we've been giving them.
And we also have a problem with a lot of people. We don't want that in neighborhoods because right now in King County, Seattle is tasked with having most of the services downtown Seattle. Mm-hmm. It's not spread out all over King County. Like, you know what I mean? Even though, shout out to Bellevue, they're starting to increase a little bit. So, we got any other text messages, Ursula?
We are out of time.
Oh, oof. That was fast. Jeez. That was fast. All right. Coming up next here on the Gee Ursula Show, it's time for Agree to Disagree. Gee Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes. Join the conversation and text your favorite show on the KIRO Newsradio text line at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
At Madrona Financial and CPAs, we believe there are 7 steps that must be taken in preparation for a successful retirement. Retirement needs more than just a basic income plan. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Don't settle for a partial plan. Get the real deal by requesting your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
You could sleep through the night without thinking twice. You could take a seat in the middle of the theater. You could drive without worry of where the next restroom is. You used to say yes, and somewhere along the way, you stopped. Not because of one big moment, because of 100 small ones. A little more urgency, one more trip to the bathroom at 2 a.m., one more mental note about where the restroom is. It happened slowly enough that it just became you. But it's not you. It's enlarged prostate, and there's a treatment called aquablation therapy, the only ultrasound-guided robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Find an aquablation therapist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466, 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks, and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
A shot to center field. Julio is there, and Julio makes the catch!
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house, even when there's not an actual seat, because you're in the T-Mobile pen.
They're going crazy here at T-Mobile Park.
The pen isn't just the perfect space to hang with your whole crew. It's where you can see Julio defend the no-fly zone 1 minute and watch Senor Smoke get ready for his big entrance the next.
Andres Munoz has simply been incredible.
Sure, the pen is standing room only, but with a team this exciting, who wants to be sitting down? Mariners baseball. Try this up.
90s weekend is on deck at T-Mobile Park. The fun gets started tonight at 7:10 with an epic 90s themed fireworks night presented by T-Mobile. Then it's back-to-back giveaways. Julio Rodriguez sleeveless jersey Saturday and Ken Griffey Jr. pin Sunday. Both presented by KeyBank. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home in Washington, recent headlines might concern you. Talk of pocket listings or private networks where only certain consumers see certain properties are all over the media. Good news. The legislature recently passed a bill to protect you in your transaction. No secret deals, all listings available for everyone to see, not just an exclusive club of insiders. This means more competition, better offers, and fair access for all consumers. Learn more at warealtor.org, sponsored by Washington Realtors.
Around here, we see a lot of people head out. No matter where they're going, we just help make sure they're ready. Before you hit the road, get a pre-trip safety check from Les Schwab Tires. It's free. Plus, this May, save up to $200 on select sets of 4 tires, including all-terrain, highway, all-season, and all-weather. So go ahead. Explore with confidence. Les Schwab Tires. We're here to help you take the long way. Limited time offer while supplies last. See leschwab.com/sale for details.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Free your team from time-consuming procurement tasks. Discover smart business buying where unmatched selection meets AI-driven tools to simplify complex processes so you can focus on what matters most. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You deserve a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Switch today. Get started for $60 a month for 12 months when you add an advanced solution to a qualifying internet package. Limited time offer. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet, security edge, and additional qualifying service. 1-year agreement, paperless billing, and autopay with bank account required. Taxes and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealer with the largest selection of Subarus in Washington. With over 800 vehicles in stock, they have exactly what you're looking for with savings you'll love. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. There is no longer a threat of an explosion involving that toxic chemical tank in Orange County, California that forced 50,000 people to evacuate. But today, the response has moved to a new phase. ABC's Alex Stone reports from Los Angeles.
On the same day, lawsuits are being announced involving the chemical scare. Today, the cleanup phase is now underway. The emergency response and threat from the chemical tank is over, and it's now transitioning into a cleanup phase of waste removal. A safety zone around the tank has been reduced down to 150 feet. People who live in the area are being asked to fill out a survey on the city's response to the incident and ways to improve future emergency responses. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Concern over Longview's water supply is forcing health officials to take action to protect the city's primary aquifer. We get this part of the story from KIRO News Radio's Corin Hake in Longview.
In the wake of Tuesday's tank implosion and chemical spill comes a troubling realization about the network of ditches designed to hold and scrub paper mill wastewater. Brooke Stanfield is with the Environmental Protection Agency.
This ditch sits on top of a sole source aquifer and a well field where the city of Longview gets its primary drinking water.
The EPA and local utilities hope to protect the aquifer by drawing fresh water from the nearby Cowlitz River to flood and dilute the ditch over the well field. In Longview, Corwin Hake, KIRO News Radio.
Rabies is back in the spotlight in Snohomish County after 3 people were exposed to a bat that tested positive for the virus. Health officials say the bat flew into a home from rural eastern Snohomish County Sunday night and later tested positive at the state lab. This is the county's first rabbit bat since 2023. Rabies is almost always fatal without quick treatment, but the preventative shots are nearly 100% effective. A 22-year-old man is now charged with killing his front seat passenger in a crash with a school bus in Renton. This happened more than 2 years ago. Robert Trevino was booked into King County Jail this week after a long delay waiting for toxicology reports. Renton PD's Megan Black says those results showed meth and fentanyl in Trevino's system at the time.
Detectives are obviously very pleased to be able to bring some sort of conclusion for the family so that they can seek justice for their daughter who was killed in this collision.
Charging documents show Trevino was driving twice the speed limit on a rainy December day before losing control and slamming head-on with the school bus. No students were injured. Today, the man accused of stabbing a woman at Point Defiance Park back in February of 2024 will be sentenced. KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon has more.
Nicholas Matthew was arrested weeks later at the San Francisco International Airport. Tacoma police say he was trying to leave the country. His victim testified during the trial in August, saying she caught him smiling while he stabbed her in the head, face, neck, and back. Matthew represented himself during the trial.
For your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic right now on SR 167 northbound just south of South 277th Street. There's an incident blocking the right lane right now. On I-5 northbound just south of SR 520, there's a collision blocking the center lane. Other drive times right now, Linwood to Seattle 50 minutes, Federal Way to Seattle 40, Linwood to Bellevue about 46 minutes. Be prepared for delays. This traffic report is brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. And for your forecast, more rain and much cooler temperatures today. Right now, it's about 52 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. It is a fresh Friday, and we sure appreciate you joining us today. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line is waiting for you. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Time for us to agree to disagree, brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves, just really go at it.
And we're going to do it a little bit differently today because Chef had to leave early. So let's start off with, you know that the World Cup is not far away, right, G? Getting all ready for that.
Yep.
And millions of visitors are going to be coming to this country, and hundreds of thousands are going to be here in the Seattle area because we're going to be hosting some games. But the Trump administration right now is floating this proposal that could have major consequences for cities like Seattle. A Homeland Security official says the administration is thinking about pulling customs and immigration's processing from so-called sanctuary cities, which would effectively stop international flights to airports like SEA. Okay, that is a serious threat, but there could be a practical effect too.
Right.
Because one of the biggest complaints that I know that you've had is that it gets very crowded at SeaTac. It's only going to get even more crowded. It would also make it a real pain if you need to take an international flight. But would you be upset if that happened?
Yes. Yes. And here's why. If you're someone that travels often out of SeaTac, if you're someone, then you know, compared to the rest of the country, TSA lines at SeaTac are really good. Seriously, I'm not good. Now, when I used to complain about SCA, my complaint was about baggage claim. My complaint was about the actual, when you go to your gate, it's small around there and you're all bunched up on each other. That was my complaint. But as far as Ursula getting through TSA, oh, it's the best. Compare it to LAX. Compare it to Newark, New Jersey, and New York, and SEA does a good job. So the answer for me is no. What about you?
The answer for me is no on a number of fronts. One, I disagree with this administration floating this proposal, and purely because they don't like that this is a sanctuary state or city or whatever it is, they're going to pull all customs and immigration processing. It's just the latest in a series of, just another one, right?
Right.
But, choosing joy. So, but yeah, I disagree on that front. But also the idea of going to a different airport because you want to go on an international flight. This is an international city.
You said, boom. Boom.
I mean, the first place that I came through when we moved from the Philippines to the United States was Seattle.
Right.
That's where I had to use my green card and show my green card with my face profile showing and my ear showing.
Right.
And that was the card. It wasn't actually green, but that was the card I used, and it was through SeaTac Airport.
Wow.
I just remember that, that whole thing. But this is a global city. This is a international city, and the idea that SEA would not be able to have international flights, I think, would be.
Before you move on, I just want to give a big thank you to the World Cup for being here, because even though a lot of the pain, and Perry Cooper knows that I was talking about with SEA, especially now, even before, Ursula, with all the problems, TSA lines were pretty good compared to the rest of the country. Right now, TSA lines, the new stuff that they have over there, it's super fast right now. So leave us alone.
Yeah.
All right. By the way, I just thought about something.
Yes.
In 6.5 years, this is my first time doing Agree to Disagree.
I know.
And presenting.
Yes.
Hey, I feel important.
I know.
South Airlines. Okay, y'all, get ready for this one. South Airlines is backing away from one of its most controversial policies. Well, a little bit. Earlier this year, do you guys remember, the airline changed its rules for so-called customers of size, requiring some passengers to purchase an extra seat in advance if they couldn't fit within a single seat. Critics called it a fat tax, while supporters argued it was simply a matter of fairness and making sure everyone has a space that they paid for. Now, after significant backlash, we talked about backlash earlier, Ursula, Southwest says gate agents, put it on the gate agents, may once again be able to provide an extra seat at no charge when one is available. So, who should bear the cost and who should be entitled to a free seat? Ursula. Good luck.
You like that one.
I'm glad they're going to you first.
Okay.
And by the way, you guys
I'm glad
text in.
I'm glad that Southwest Airlines has listened. And although I have been on the receiving end of when someone, do you remember? Oh my gosh. It was when a rugby team was on the plane. I mean, and sometimes you're like, your girl sits in coach.
Yeah.
Right?
Weren't you in the middle?
Sometimes I'm in the middle seat.
Right.
And so if there were a free seat available, I would hope that they would either offer it to me,
right,
being the one stuck in the middle, squished between two, big rugby players, or they offer it to the rugby player or the person who is filling up more than one seat and making it comfortable for everybody.
Okay, Ursula.
I don't have an issue with that.
Okay. When one is available.
When one is available. When one's not available.
Now what?
It's tough. It's tough back there.
So basically, if one is not available,
yes,
and that person comes, and the gate agent, they make a decision,
yes,
that you need to buy another seat to get on.
If they told me that, then
if they told anybody that, do you guys think that should be a thing? Because that's basically what they're doing right now. They're basically saying, hey, if there's one available, but sometimes we might charge you for that extra seat.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. and I'm not at, I criticize myself sometimes for carrying too much weight. Okay. I'm not at the point where I fill 2 seats, okay, or right. am encroaching on someone else's
But what if
seat.
somebody else does?
But no, let me just say, if it was me, I would probably offer, and knowing that, you know what, I cannot fit into 1 seat.
Yeah.
And airlines are not making their seats any bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably say, yeah, I get that I would need to be charged extra.
Right. And I just want to say this. If you agree, that's one thing. If you disagree and you're saying, no, G, that person shouldn't be charged, then just remember.
Yeah.
Then that cost is going to go to everybody.
Right. Well, what do you think? Like, what's your answer? You thought, just because you're presenting doesn't mean you don't have to answer. So what's your answer? Do you think Southwest Airlines is doing the right thing?
I'm going to say increase the cost of the tickets.
For everybody?
Yep.
Or for the person who is going to take 2 seats?
For everybody.
Like, you have to say...
So just Southwest goes up in price.
No, you don't. No way. No, you're just trying to avoid a tough answer. You just want to end. You want to be at home base at the moment.
I tell you what. I tell you what I'll do. I'll go back and I'll just say it. Okay, you have to pay for an extra seat.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, good stuff, Ursula. That was a tough one right there. Hey, coming up next, your text messages, feedback, and then we'll have Ursula's words to live by.
KIRO Newsradio, winner of 7 regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Breaking news coverage, best newscast, excellence in writing, investigative reporting, sports reporting, hard news. Capped with a prestigious prize for overall excellence. And we thank you, our audience across the Pacific Northwest. You are the reason we strive to be the Northwest's trusted news source. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
Hey, John, why don't you tell everybody why you started going to Longevity Medical Clinic?
No, I don't want to do that. I can tell you, I started going to Longevity Medical Clinic before I started doing these commercials, but that why I went is not important.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Okay. I'll tell you. I was a Sammamish City Council member, and whenever they had asked me to do the Pledge of Allegiance, I couldn't make it through the whole thing without crying. I know, it's so dumb. I mean, I know I'm patriotic, but what the heck? So I go into Longevity Medical Clinic, and I explained this to them, that there's something wrong with my hormones or something, and they see the testosterone and the estrogen are all out of balance. We balance all that stuff, and I can do the Pledge of Allegiance without crying. But I've also noticed that I deal with stress a lot better, don't I?
Yes, you're a lot easier to live with because you're getting more sleep, you have more energy, you're better organized, and I'm not helping you look for your car keys every morning.
Right, because now I've taken the steps to take care of my mind and body. I strongly recommend anybody get the free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Summer's supposed to be fun. When the kids are home all day, the groceries, they add up fast. G. Scott here with a quick heads up from Safeway. There's a program called Sunbucks that gives qualifying families $120 per child for summer groceries. Some families are signed up automatically and will get a card in the mail. Others need to apply. Take a minute to check. It could really help put food on the table for your family. Head to freesummermeals.org to find out more. That's freesummermeals.org.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 15th, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi, just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add one line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
This is Congresswoman Marilyn Strickland. Having trouble with a government agency? Tired of dealing with red tape? I'll help you get the benefits you've earned. My office is here to help you with Social Security, Medicare, the VA, passports, and more. We've recovered millions of dollars for taxpayers and stand ready to help you. Call me at 360-459-8514 or visit strickland.house.gov.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
This baseball season, Home Comfort Alliance is changing the game. John Curley here. Get the price of a new heating and AC system in just 60 seconds on your phone with no pressure, no waiting. Just a few questions and you get a winning personalized price. That's a home run. And if your system is over 12 years old, it could be costing you up to 20% more or could soon fail. Score a personalized price for a new system in 60 seconds at HomeComfortAlliance.com. Call the comfort people. Home Comfort Alliance.
Guys, it's Men's Health Month at Revive Seattle. Get a free comprehensive wellness panel. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, heart health, and more. Valued at $400. Offer ends June 30th. Call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
We are all about your experience.
We are
Subaru of Puyallup. Your
stress-free
dealership.
All right, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Ursula, before we get into it, I just want to say that last agree to disagree.
Yeah.
That last question, I'm actually shocked. Would you agree that most of our listeners agree with the oversized tax?
Oh, yeah. Well, most, not all, because I have several who have also texted in and have said, those seats are just too small, and they seem to keep shrinking. You and I were talking about that.
Which I agree with that, but I'm actually shocked that most of you are saying, yeah, go ahead and charge them. I thought it would have been the other way around.
Well, Katie from Covington said the extra fee should also be given to parents with kids in laps. And then she also said if someone has to buy an additional seat for size, they should get mileage or double the amenity, like twice the carry-on. No, I like the way Katie's thinking.
Hey, Ursula, now you know that it's still the same when your kids was younger. It's 2 and under, right? For free.
Yeah.
Are you guys saying that 2-year-old on the lap and everything
should pay full freight?
Should there be an extra charge for the 2-year-old these days?
I think there should. And I took advantage of it too. And then realized, you know what? We got to just get another seat. Yeah, because especially if you're not taking the whole row, the poor person who's sitting next to you that has your kid's, foot dangling over them.
Yep.
That's not fair either. Nope. Okay, well, let's talk about Sound Transit. That was one of the topics we brought up. Ballard is the loser at this point. Kirk in Mount Vernon says, no one ever talks about how come they're not holding the subcontractors responsible for the bids that they put out. It's like the state's paying for these contractors' inability to produce a correct bid for the work done. Good point. It almost sounds like it is a setup because they're bidding low on purpose, knowing that they can't do the job for what they just bidded for. How come no one looks into this?
Kirk, that was good.
That was a good one. And then I also want to point out that we had asked, I said, let's do an informal poll because they're floating the idea that it's not even floating. Now it's ST4.
ST4, yeah.
Is probably coming down the pike here. And how would you vote? most people texted in and said,
Hail to no.
Yeah, exactly. Bob and Edmonds, big no on Sound Transit. Marcy in Tacoma says, I paid $400 in RTA tax. I'm in Pierce County, and I'll probably never see it working. To say I'm furious is an understatement.
Yeah. We talked Flex Fridays today. Connie in Mount Lake Terrace says, I joined Progressive Performance in Mill Creek. All about getting stronger and super supportive. Not a big box gym. I hate the gym and love this so far.
See, I like
That's
it.
awesome, Connie.
Harold in Sammamish says, my marathon is 1 week away. Yes, 26.2 miles walking marathon at 67 years old. All thanks with your assistance from working out.
Come on, Harold. Dave says, I quit drinking soda and I'm running a low calorie between 1,000 to 1,500 calories a day and high protein diet.
Ooh, that sounds like G. Oh, how many calories are you? Are you counting calories or no?
Yeah. Anywhere from 2,000 to 2,300 a day.
Which is not much for a person your size. And what are your protein grams? What are you shooting for?
About 130 grams.
Wow.
Yeah, I get my protein in. What else? Melinda in Gold Bar?
Yeah.
Gee, I totally agree. I do not like getting up at 3 a.m. for the gym, but never regret it. Best start of the day. 64 years old, minimum, 4 days a week.
On the topic of fixing Aurora, Sarah and we had former King County Sheriff John Urquhart join us. And one of the things he said was that the police need to start arresting the sex workers as well.
Right.
At least to get them out of harm. Well, he just said arrest sex workers, and so you won't have them there all concentrated in one area.
Yep.
Sarah in Ferndale says, I do see one benefit to spreading them out. There won't be the same turf wars.
Okay. Ursula, we got to get to it. Your words to live by. What do you got?
And I love this. It's very simple. Talk about choosing joy. Choosing to be positive and having a grateful attitude is going to determine how you are going to live your life.
Amen. Amen. Nick, what do you got?
Well, how much would you stretch the truth for new jobs, gigs, or roles that you maybe have been eyeing for a while with your goals? Would you change up your appearance to be seen in better light, even though you wouldn't try that hard in other days of sight? But there's no harm to me in switching looks to boost your chances when you'd not be trying hard under some different circumstances, because G might arrive in that interview with a suit and tie, but every other day he shows up with a Hawks cap and some indoor sunglasses, if you've seen that before, so I wouldn't let those looks decide for you.
Was he lying, though?
No, you're not lying at all. See, Nick? Can't even dispute what you said, man. I don't like it, though. Just kidding.
You were giving a hard time for the other side, so I thought I'd throw it back at you.
Hey, love it. Love it. Ursula, have a great weekend.
You
Any
too.
Big plans?
Actually, I do. I'm going to see Aviatrix on Sunday.
Angela
Poe
Russell's
Russell's musical.
Yes.
Which
I hear is
all
good.
the feedback is incredible.
Yeah.
So, yes, doing that.
You guys
and having family dinner tonight.
Oh, come on now. What's for dinner?
I'm not cooking.
Nick, have a good one,
You too,
man. Rainiers this weekend?
Oh, yeah. Got a weekend of games coming up.
Okay, are you ready to get down on the ones and twos?
Oh, yeah. Tapping to the pulse of the fans, baby.
What about you?
Yo, everybody. I'm chilling this weekend.
Nice.
Chilling.
Nice.
Hey, the Jake and Spike Show coming in next. Appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you have as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
KIRO News Radio, winner of 7 regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Breaking news coverage, best newscast, excellence in writing, investigative reporting, sports reporting, hard news. Capped with a prestigious prize for overall excellence. And we thank you, our audience across the Pacific Northwest. You are the reason we strive to be the Northwest's trusted news source. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Step inside and let the excitement take you places. This is Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the ultimate spot for action that reaches incredible heights, luxury that knows no bounds, and live entertainment that always thrills. It's all at one incredible destination. So when you look for the best, look nowhere else. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the biggest and best in the Northwest. Muckleshoot.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise. There's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco-bill, and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Epic parties start at Staples. Now you can grab Party City balloons, decorations, and tableware, plus matching custom invites, banners, and more right at Staples. That was easy.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now.